Mic check 1, 2, 3. Hold on for a second. Oh, there we go. Oh, something's not right. Oh, no wonder. Hold on for a minute, y'all. We're gonna get things started. Let me see if we got this. Yes. Tonight we're gonna be having church up in here. We're gonna be sipping on some tea, and we're gonna be getting down to the nitty gritty. All right. Welcome to Knowledge and Relationships. This is your boy M3. Always make sure that before you guys come in the chat and into the live streams, make sure that you ladies and gentlemen get your minds right, because that's very important. All right, because we're going to be talking about something that's going to be heavy and deep, and it's very controversial. So just know that before I even get to where I'm going to get to, let me go ahead and play this. Before I even get to this, all right, let me go ahead and put my disclaimer up. So first of all, please be advised that what we discuss is not clinical, political, financial, or medical or legal advice. This is for information. This is for information and entertainment purposes only. Okay? Now, never forget to hit the like button. Okay? Keep smashing that and share this videos to your friends and family. And also, please be advised that when people do come up, they have the different opinions, but their opinions is not necessary. Sorry, let me just read this. The opinions of our panelists are made, and guests and chat are not necessarily the viewpoints of Knowledge and Relationships. Okay? So we're gonna make sure you guys get the likes up, because tonight's topic will be about Eve, from Adam and Eve. And Eve is the all-star for tonight, okay? So the theory is that, actually, hold on. I forgot to give about a minute real quick. That was the old title. This is the new title. So let me go ahead and pop this up real quick. There we go. So tonight's topic is the stalking theory about Eve. And who did she really love? Okay. So the theory is that Eve cheated on Adam. And, most people could probably guess who or figure out who. But just know that what I'm saying is not pretty much factual. This is just theories. Okay. But anyways, I got my notes prepared for tonight, because I'm going to go ahead and give my soliloquy, okay? So first, before we start off with Eve, all right, we're going to start off with one theory, okay? And there is an actual character in the Bible, but however, as opposed to the story of her being in the book of Genesis, okay, we do not know for sure if this is true or not. But if so, it makes sense, okay? I do want to give a shout out to MarioMarion. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Just good evening, Mr. M3. Thank you for the update and this information to ponder, fair use. And then also shout outs to Grey Pill Podcast for tuning in. Thank you. K Marion also wrote in the chat about Adam Eve, but we're gonna get to it, okay? All right, so let me go through my notes. So before we do this, right, we want to start off with the theory of Adam's first wife, okay? All right, so Adam's first wife, okay? Her name was Lilith, okay? Now, if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, forgive me on that one, but we're going to get to it, okay? So it says, in some religious traditions, it is believed that Adam the first man created by God had a wife before Eve, and her name was Lilith. According to some interpretations of Jewish folklore, Lilith was created at the same time Adam was. Okay? They was both formed of clay. Okay? So because they was both, in the same made of clay, as opposed to her being Adam's rib, there was a bit of button heads. I'll just say it like that. However, Lilith refused to be subservient to Adam and she left him. Okay. Now, some versions of this story says that she then became a demon and is associated with the night with sexual temptation. Who knows? Who cares? But the belief is not considered to be a part of the Bible. It is a Jewish folklore, as I said before, and there is no reference to Adam's first wife Lilith in the biblical text. Okay, but I wanted to kind of point that out there, right? Because, all right, this is where all these things connect, and then also too. Hold on, there's somebody in the building too, so I gotta go ahead and I gotta give a special shout out for when the raindrops fall from the skies. Okay, I should have known better. There's some little raindrops coming around from the skies, and it's none other than our fellow Canadian, Miss She Stole My Thunder. So salutes to you, and thank you for tuning in. Everybody, please make sure you guys hit the like button. Okay, and we also have the King's Table. Salute to you, my brother. Now, I'm going to open up the chat, all right, in the 15-minute mark. So don't worry. You know what I mean? Anybody could come up because I'm open to have a discussion with you guys. All right? Now, let's go ahead and get to this. So the point of me reading about Lilith, right, is because in theory, she could be the first wife for Adam. But as you could see, right, the nature of how things were, okay, in the biblical times, women just didn't listen. They refused to be subservient. They refused to follow instruction that God commanded, that God put in charge. So Lilith already in her mind was like, Adam, you are beneath me, even though they was both on the same level. But however, Lilith didn't feel that way. She felt like she didn't need to be underneath Adam. She didn't feel like she needs to be the type of woman to obey. And so I think this is where the problem begins, is because of that type of mindset. Now, where does Eve come into the picture? All right, we're going to get to that. Now, the story of Adam and Eve, okay? As it appears in the Bible does not describe Eve cheating on Adam, okay? Like I said, that's why I'm saying this is a theory with the you know who. But according to the biblical account, Eve was created by God as a companion for Adam. And they both lived in the Garden of Eden. However, Eve was tempted by the serpent, who is pretty much as known as Satan or the devil. Now, people say she ate an apple. It's not an apple, it's just a fruit, okay? She ate the fruit from the forbidden tree of knowledge of good and evil. And she convinced Adam to eat it as well. As a result of their disobedience, they were banished from the garden and sin entered the world. Now, this is where things kind of take a turn. And everybody, please get the likes up as well. Because I was talking to my hairstylist, right? And this is where I kind of got this inspiration from. Because his theory, right, is that Adam did not do any wrong. And it was unjustified for him to get kicked out from the Garden of Eden. Some people believe that Eve should have been the one to get kicked out. Some people believe, well, Adam was a beta male and he followed Eve, even though that he should have been the leader. They felt like Adam pretty much neglected his true responsibility, and they feel like Adam was supposed to protect his wife. Now, here's the thing: us men, we usually get fixated when we're on our purpose. Okay, in this YouTube streets, we're always talking about purpose, 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 right? So when we focus on purpose so much, okay, we're focusing on like trying to get our accomplishments so we could achieve to ourselves to get the most quality. And it's it. People are doing it for women, okay? You're doing this to get the most quality women. That's why most men set on purpose. But Adam already had a wife, okay? So he was already on his purpose. He was doing the things that he was supposed to be doing for God. But yet, he neglected one thing, making sure that he protect his wife from danger, even though she's supposed to be his helpmate, his companion. Now, I know we'll still open the chat to the public, but let me go ahead and bring in Miss Polly real quick. Miss Polly, what's up? Salutes to you. Uh-oh. I think she still froze, y'all. Miss Polly, are you okay? Yeah, you're breaking up.
You gotta do me like that.
I was hoping like the T1 connection would have helped, but hey, it's all good, you know. And shout out to 100 Watts, the guy that loves those that love him. He says, "You was talking to your hairstylist, styling what, sir? Styling what? Pretty much washing the hair, conditioning it, making sure my hair is grown and staying healthy, you know." But yeah, so let me get to the point, right? So the thing is, okay, in theory, we believe that Eve had an emotional connection with the serpent. And the serpent, because the serpent couldn't really get God. Remember, Satan, you know, he was an angel. He became a fallen angel. Also, he turned into a snake. And I know Mrs. MT says that, you know, some, you know, animals probably evolved. Maybe the serpent probably had legs or whatever. She said it somewhere in there, like, okay. So we don't know. I mean, but the point is that we believe that Satan pretty much slept with Eve, okay, had sex with her, and Eve cheated on her husband. But since Miss Polly is here, right? Before I even continue with that part, Miss Polly, what you think? Yeah, she laughing. You can at least turn your mic on, at least. Oh man, she's cracking up.
I got the mic on. Okay. I agree. Well, I'm just taking it in. I'm listening. I came a little late, so I was taking it. You know, that's an interesting view on the snake. That's all I can. Keep going. Keep going. I'm going to take it in.
Keep going. Salute to Johnson Jeffrey. Thank you for tuning in.
John, don't do me. You see this? No, John. John, listen. And this is the thing that gets me. Okay. First off, I was going to let him finish the story, but John had to be out of line. Okay. First off, okay. You have a serpent talking to a woman, convincing her to do something she had no business doing and sharing it with her partner. Okay. And I hear a lot of people say different things like, oh, that's why you guys always, give childbirth. No, the pain. It was the pain of childbirth and the preparation of, becoming impregnated. It's not even, it's not that. You were going to give childbirth regardless. It was the fact that you came with it was what the issue was. Y'all tripping. But I'm going to let y'all continue. Proceed.
All right. Let me go ahead to my trusty notes real quick. Okay. So the thing is, right? Because my hairstylist was talking about like you know the conversation started. He was like, man, like women they fuck up a man's life or whatever. I was like, oh really? And I was like, man, he must have been watching like my channel or something. Cause he was like, man, they don't listen or whatever. I'm like, and of course it turns out like my wife did pass on the car, so I think we made him red pill for a minute, and we was talking about Solomon and Gomorrah, and we're gonna get to that. But John says Eve was the perfect woman, not to mention, right? That's what they say, right? The perfect woman for Adam, okay, in Adam's eyes. But was she really the perfect woman?
Yeah, I never heard that she was the perfect one. You guys are adding stuff that isn't there.
Or maybe she was the perfect 304. The first original 304.
Don't be ad-libable. Don't do that.
Hey. Like I said,
she could be the first woman. Don't say she's the perfect woman.
Hey, this is all in theory, okay? K. Mary says, not a belief held by me. Reference to Genesis 3 and 4. For I believe Eve's children are from Adam, especially Cain himself, right? We're jumping too far. Let me see. Eve is the prime example of what happens when you get behind the wheel of a car and stop staring at trusted that it won't crash. Oh, damn, John, right? And he also says that was the first sin. So if she had not yet sinned, she was perfect. Damn. I see where he's going at.
They both sin. I shouldn't even be talking to you, John, because it's topic 3 from I gotta pause. I'm sorry.
Tell me where I'm wrong. All right, hold on. Before we get into it, right? All right. Let me tell you why I believe that Eve had sex with the serpent, with Satan, right? Because here's the thing. Remember, fellas, right? They say that women fall in love through their ears, right? And maybe, it sounds like Satan was like a smooth talker. You know what I mean? Like he pretty much got her dripping wet. Maybe it was something that Adam could not do at the moment. Adam was too focused on doing God's work. So he didn't have time to make her wet. Why would Eve wander off? Remember, God gave the command, right? And the command was you could have everything you want. Everything. Unlimited food, resources. You could talk to animals like the wild thornberries. Except for one thing. Go into, what was it, like the forbidden area and eat the forbidden fruit? So why? Okay, out of all places, why that one woman had to wander off, okay, and even touch the fruit to begin with, or even listen to someone that's not her husband? Come on now, we gotta. This is going to be a real conversation, man. And I know a lot of people's not going to like this, but there's still more. Sometimes we meant to listen instead of talking. I'm not coming at you all.
Come on, you can't listen to else but her husband.
I can't hear you. What you say? Hey, Lady E. Wait, what's it?
Hey, lady needs to get on the panel because I'm not gonna be able to stay up here. These children are still awake.
That's okay. Hey, just tell them to go to bed.
Okay, but we know that. Okay, let's not you. They do. I know I have to prepare them. I got little folk, so I got to do a little bit of combination parenting. But you guys are trying. I feel like this conversation is pointing the finger only at Eve, and not at the fact that even in this man's full knowledge, he did something he was told not to do. In the knowledge of knowing not to do it and knowing that someone else did it, still continue to following people off bridges. Okay, let's not do that. So these are a good thing.
Well, Miss Polly, here's the other thing, right? this is where people say that Adam really didn't do no wrong. And people, make sure y'all get the likes up too, though. Like, there's 9 people watching, but there's 6 likes up. That's a problem right now. Get the likes up, y'all. Okay. And then, hold on, before I highlight his comment, the thing is, okay, did Adam really knew that fruit came from the forbidden tree? Okay, from the forbidden garden. Because remember, Eve knew about it. She bit the fruit. Okay, she probably deceived Adam. Because think about this: you coming home from work, and you're trusting your lady to serve you some food, some dinner, right? So let's say, for instance, if Mrs. M3, okay, my wife was to serve me something like, I don't know, whatever on the plate. Normally on the plate, I'm trusting in her that the food's going to be good. But the way how Eve gave the fruit to Adam, it was like maybe it was some poison into it. You got to think about it like that, in elementary terms. Okay? So I don't think Adam knew much about the fruit, but still Adam was a beta male in my eyes or whatever. He just neglected the responsibility to make sure he keep a watchful eye, because sometimes when women get bored, they get into stuff. When they get horny, as Tupac says, Negroes will die. Miss Paul says, I have to run. Okay. Salutes to Miss Polly. She has to take care of her children, do some other things. But I know also like her internet wasn't really working that well. So, shout outs to her internet provider. Hopefully they get that fixed soon. But let me go ahead and read the chat. John says the problem is we as humans try to battle the things that the Most High tells us to flee from. Let that sink in. We trick ourselves out of a position thinking that we can outsmart creatures far more knowledgeable than ourselves. Adam did wrong when he followed instead of standing firm on instructions from the Most High. Adam was here. So Adam was here first. Adam was here first. He knew he was not to touch anything on that tree. Okay, man, says the Bible never mentions Lilith as Adam's wife, not before or after Eve. Lilith arrived once the scripture over Esau, I think. And then John says women will do the same thing to this day. They will talk you into something and then they blame you for listening. If it don't work out, LL, that's why it's best to lead only. Now, I do agree with John, right, on that part. That if Adam did knew about the fruit and he followed Eve, that was his first mistake, is by being the follower as opposed to being the leader. And he did state it that Adam, because he was the first one on this earth, he should already know the rules to begin with. But then who knows? The other thing was, did Eve give him the fruit without letting him know that the fruit came from a tree? I don't remember in the scripture where she was specific and told him that she got the fruit from the forbidden tree, but he says he definitely knew. So let's say we'll go with John, right? And Adam knew that. Now Adam became in sin because of listening to the woman who pretty much led him astray from God, as opposed to pretty much removing that Jezebel out your life. Now, how does this apply in modern relationships? We see the red flags of someone, but then yet we stick around that person. But for what reason? It's like you're compromising your morale. You're compromising your purpose. Just for what? To stick with somebody that's going to tear your empire down? That's the part I don't get. He named all the animals on earth once. He named all the animals on the earth. Come on, M3, right? But hey, like I said, these are theories, because let me tell you this though, right? Yeah, we could expect Adam to know certain things, but until like and I have to go back to scripture reference, right? Like I said, if Eve told Adam something that was different, and Adam trusted his wife, I mean that still would be his downfall anyway, because he should pretty much know what certain fruits were not to eat anyways. But anyways, I'm not gonna get to the forbidden fruit part. The part is, right, that one thing led to another, and like I said, in theory, I really believe that pretty much like Satan pretty much put the pipe in her. You know. Now, on the next part, right? This is where like okay, King Abel was born. Okay, so in this part, let me see. Even though the Bible does not say that Cain was conceived as a result of Eve's supposedly infidelity with the devil, instead it says that Cain was born to Adam and Eve after they was expelled from the garden. Okay, the biblical account of Cain and Abel, their parents' first two children, who describe Cain committing pretty much an act of murder on his brother, but it doesn't suggest that it was due to any inherent seed of the evil in Cain's lineage. Now, my thing is this, right? Okay, we hear the term about Cain and Abel was born from Adam and Eve, or Adam and Eve had children together. Okay, but in our theory, okay, what if Eve was piped down by Satan and Adam thought, okay, that Cain was his son, but really it was pretty much the son of the devil, because like I said before, if Satan cannot really get to God, he's going to get to us like his children. So the most vulnerable position to get to a man is through his wife, his woman. So let's say, for instance, Eve cheated on Adam with Satan, okay, and of course, she's doing the same thing, having sex with Adam, but because Cain came in first anyway. So Cain was born. Adam was like, okay, that's my son, whatever the case is. After they was already kicked out of the Garden of Eden, but then from that point, and then you have Abel. So it's funny that Cain was the first person that was born, right? And then it was Abel. He says, really empty? Yes, really, really. Johnson Sinatra says, definitely still stroking the souls of women to this day. K. Marion says, Isaiah 34, 14, 15. The creatures of the desert will encounter jackals, and the hairy goat will call to his kind. Indeed, live night demon will settle and find her place of rest. Okay. It says Satan told Eve that if she ate from the tree, she will be like God. Hence today, what are women's beliefs? A lot of them believe they are God. Okay. I didn't really think about that, on that type of level. I'm always using terms like, if you're on a realistic certain level, they're always going to believe that they're higher, because wherever that's between the legs is their commodity, or they look up to men that they feel like that's above them that they could look up to. So that could be the case, and yet if you think about it, most simps or whatever, they treat women like goddess anyways. So if you're treating a woman that she's above your life, above your children, your family, that is your god or goddess in other cases. All right, so and let me go ahead. I'm gonna post the link, right, so people could join in, because I still have more stuff. All right, I don't know what happened to my camera, but all right. So everybody want to join the link? I know I said I was gonna post the 15-minute mark, but my bad, I got kind of derailed. But let me see. So my other notes is that. So let's see what I cover up. So yeah, so the same person that I was talking to, first thing he was mentioning, he was like, okay, well, women don't listen. They mess up on most men's life when they're not really listening to the man. And that's something that we should really talk about. Like, why is it so hard for any woman, to follow like instructions from a man, especially if God has appointed that man to lead their lives? Let me see. Say did not take TV shows as facts. Okay. And then let me see. We'll go through some Bible references or so. So let's focus on King and Abel real quick. Okay. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna go up here. Up. Damn. Let's see. Where is it? I'm trying to find the King and Abel part. Okay. So if you want to know the reference, right? Okay. You can look up to like Genesis 4, first like from 1 to like 16. Okay. But I want to talk about the part that like okay, King pretty much like deletes like Abel. Because remember, uh well we was talking about like okay, King got jealous because Abel's gifts was more favored by God as opposed to his gifts. And one of the things that was in theory was that did God favor Abel because Abel he gave from his heart, or maybe he gave God like better gifts than Cain, or did he favor Abel because Abel was a seed from Adam, which most people will say Adam didn't do no wrong, or he still is a perfect human being. But if that was the case, maybe that could be true or whatever. But then why he did not favor Cain? What up, John?
Yo, yo.
What up, John? How you doing, bro?
Let me get my light set up. Hold on. Let me turn my light on. I'm good. I'm good, bro. I had to tap in for this one, man. I couldn't just keep typing, bro. I was gonna have me typing paragraphs in the comments and shit.
Yeah, no,
Where
no,
did
that's good, man.
where Polly go?
Probably had to go. Let's probably check and take care of children, and then plus like her internet connection wasn't working too well. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, man. One thing I noticed, like this is a touchy story or a touchy subject with women because a lot of women, when you talk about this, they feel as if you're attacking like all women, which is crazy because um as a
So
man,
mhm.
I feel like when I hear women talk about something wrong that men do, if it doesn't apply to me, I don't really feel any way towards it. I just let them express themselves and just look at it from their perspective.
Mhm.
But it's like that's all I wanted to say to her because when I said, what did I say? My first comment, I said the title alone, 99% of women ain't ready for the convo. I
Mhm.
wasn't saying her, but you see how she immediately took offense. Like, wait, hold on, John, hold on. I'm not saying you could be the 1% that is ready. So don't put yourself in that category. I was just saying in general, because like I say, it's normal for women to get highly offensive. And I got a sister, right? It's my older sister. We be going back. Well, she be trying to go back and forth with me, but I don't do it. I just shut it down. But she be wanting to go back and forth with me about this a lot. And if she watching this, she probably don't want to come up talking, or she gonna text me later. But she'll be like, "Oh, the story was just manipulated just to make the man look better." And really, Eve is not the one. Have you heard of the Lilith? And really, the woman was the. I'm like, look, man. I can just go by off of what the information that I see, and you can just like anybody else, we can choose to believe it or not, right? But just based off of that, um, if the man was created first, nobody had sinned yet, and this is why I said she was the perfect woman. She was the perfect woman because not only because she was the first one, but she was the first one that existed before sin actually took place. Once they actually partake in biting from whatever fruit or whatever it was from that tree, that is once they started to notice things that they weren't supposed to be knowledgeable of, as far as they were naked, they didn't have clothes on, they were shameful. Before then, everything was and what's crazy about it also is you got to peep how fast that happens. Heaven and earth is created, Adam is created, Adam is here. Adam gets the ability to name all of the animals that walk the earth. God let him do that.
Mhm.
Everything, everything's perfect. There is no pain. There is none of that, right? All of a sudden, the Most High feels like, for all the reasons that this, what, man is lonely. Let me take man and out of him create woman, and that will be his partner and his helper, his companion. So from the very beginning, the woman is put here in order to be partner, in order to help. It was never to lead in the first place. But see, the whole where that got reversed, that is listening to Satan. Lucifer, who was envious of the creation of the Most High the whole time, because for all different types of reasons, he felt
Mhm.
like he was created first. He was far more superior. Why is the Most High wasting, having so much love and compassion for these creatures when, I'm more mightier, I'm more knowledgeable, I've been here longer, I've done all this and that. Just pure jealousy and envy. Humanity is created, then they in the garden for, I don't, we don't know what time, if it was 24 hours or what, but it was very fast. Because
Mhm.
if you just look at, okay, he was just created, woman's just created, he just named all the animals. Next thing you know, they in the garden one day, or she's in the garden, and so you got to imagine, like, this could be possibly like the first 24 hours, and like
Mm.
I said, the woman had not even been here that long, but she was perfect because she had not yet sinned. So if a perfect woman can be manipulated by Satan, what makes these women and even men of today's times think that we are smart enough or more sophisticated or more superior in order to outsmart the devil? And what I said, when I said let that sink in about the Most High saying to flee means to run away, right? M3.
Yeah.
So if the person who created you, well, not the person, but the entity, the supreme high power, the Most High God who created us, told you to run away from something, that means he knows, because he knows everything we will never know and understand and more, right? So he
Hmm.
knows we are no match. He knows you are no match. That's just like M3. If you got a son, right? You got a son. You got kids, M3?
No, no, I don't have no kids.
Okay, you don't have no kids, but say you got a son, right? And your
Hmm.
son about 12, 13 years old, right?
Yeah.
Your son 12 or 13, and he wants to be a boxer, right?
Hmm.
And he's good, like all your cousins and his little, siblings and stuff, he beat them up and all that. But you got little from down the street or something, you got a Javante Day, I don't know, you got like a Mike
Like
Tyson.
Javante Davis, we're gonna say it like that.
Hey, hey man, you know what I'm saying? And your son,
Mhm.
like, Dad, I can take him, Dad, I can take him. Like, and though, this your son, you love your son, you want your son, you want the best for him. You like, son, run away. Do not try to let him talk you into fighting him. You know what I mean? I know you're a good
Mhm.
fighter, son, but you're not meant. See, you understand already, you overstand the situation. Your son can't see that. So
Yeah.
we got to take heed to what the Most High say when he say to flee. That's just like when it comes to temptation, right? The eyes lead to the portal and the gateway of temptation, because a lot of times if we don't look at something, we can avoid it by looking at something. So you
Hmm.
can look but don't gaze, and if you
Yeah.
gaze, don't stare, because even at that point you're already allowing yourself. And that's why I tell women all the time, trying to talk back and forth with a man, trying to convince him, a knowledgeable man is going to be able, if you got some mouthpiece and some game about yourself, you can talk a woman into doing whatever you want her to do, because the same way Satan was, the same way
Mhm.
Satan is, and he has. That's why when we was talking on that show last time, and then women they wanted to go back and forth, and I was telling them, I said, look, this is kind of something that's like, if you are married, you don't need to be going back and forth with no man who is not married about being faithful and what's cheating and what's not. What you should be doing is you should be conversing with your husband and working with him, helping him build on y'all empire. And that's what you should be doing as a married woman. Because trying to go back and forth with me, all you're gonna do is talk yourself into something that your husband gonna be embarrassed, because on the inside he gonna feel like, why is my wife, he's mad at himself because he feels like, he's doing something wrong if his woman is going back and forth on the internet with a man she don't even know. Because what are you trying to convince me for? If you don't even know me, why does it matter what I think? The only person who should matter what they think in a married woman's
Mm.
life is her husband, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
why is a
John.
married why is a married woman on the internet trying to convince other men that she's anything? What do you want me to think? You're smart? You want me to think you're what would me thinking, me admiring you, what does that do for you? Because you already have a husband that should be
Right.
doing all that, and you should be satisfied.
John, let me jump on that part, right? Because actually, there was a similar situation on a major platform, on Just Pro Things platform, and actually, there was a woman, right, that was on her show. She was a guest. She came on there for the first time, and she got into an argument with, I guess, one of her co-hosts for that day, because he has like a language where he just calls women and men bro. Okay, they're from the UK, London or whatever. So there's a certain type of slang that they use. Now, you know, I'm not saying that that's excusable. He needed to learn how to talk to certain people. But prior to that, she was like, hey, her husband or boyfriend trusts her to come on platforms. And she said that when she comes on there, she must make sure she's on her best behavior, because not only she's representing her, but she's representing him.
That's facts. Yeah.
Now, she said that stuff, but fast forward, let's say like an hour later, after you get into an argument with this guy, you're cussing him out, you're getting kicked out by Pearl, you're slamming doors, then you're coming back in and you're making threats. Now you're all over the internet as this angry Caucasian woman that is so-called gangster, and you know people are making a mockery. But like I said, that woman prior to that was talking about, oh, I'm gonna be on my best behavior, because if I go on these platforms and act a fool, I'm gonna make my husband look bad. But she got emotional and she still wound up making him look bad. No one knows who the husband is, but I'm for sure watching that has to be kind of cringing. And I don't know if he'll ever come back on a platform again if he allows it, you know?
Right.
Now, the reason why I was talking about, I wanted to go with a theory, right? With this narrative of if Adam was so good, right? Let's just say Adam still didn't do no wrong, okay? And this kind of comes into like a conclusion between Cain and Abel, okay? Because some people will say that, you know, some people were born to be good and some people were born to be bad. And like I was stating before, because Cain could have been Lucifer or Satan's son, you know, without Adam's knowledge to it, then Satan already is doing what he's trying to accomplish. Because likewise, in order for him to gain power, he has to spread his seed somewhere. And the most vulnerable position that he could get to a man is through his wife, through the woman that he's with. So he gave Eve the mouthpiece. He pretty much persuaded her to take the fruit and to give it to Adam. Now he had that situation accomplished, because now both Adam and Eve lost their privileges, okay, to be more close to God than ever before. Now you have children where one was doing good, but the other one killed him off. You know what I mean? And now it's like, okay, along with King, you have your seed. You know what I mean? Now, did Abel have children? Maybe so. But that goes to like with this theory or whatever. Okay, that's not written in the Bible. What if everyone who was good and everyone was bad came from the offspring from Cain and Abel?
They did.
Yeah. Okay.
They did. Because that's a fact, right? Because like you said, look, just retracing back, there was Adam created, there was Eve created. There was no sin yet until they, you know, did what they did at the tree, listening to the serpent. At that point, that's when pain existed. They knew they were naked. You know, they started to cover themselves up. They were shameful. All these different emotions and feelings were unlocked once they did that sin. Now, at the same time, people saying like, okay, some people born to be good, some people born to be bad. I'll say that's true and not true at the same time, because you still have a choice. We can't just say that Eve was put here to do that. She wasn't put here to do that. She was put here to do what the Most High said to do, to be a companion and a helper of the man. What happened was she was misguided by listening to Satan.
Yeah, she was naive. Not saying that her role was to destroy, but because she was naive, like maybe pure, like, you know, pure at heart, pure in spirit, you just happen to run to someone that you were just openly to trust.
Yeah, she didn't mean no harm. See, that's the thing too. Like, I don't look at Eve like she meant to do what she do. She if she would have known all this would come from that, I highly doubt that she would have did it. But see, that's the thing with women and a lot of men. A lot of times the heart is treacherous. I don't know what exact scripture that is, but that's in the Bible too. The heart is treacherous. You got to be careful listening to your heart. Being a man, you need to lead off of logistics, off logic. You know, you got to think logical. Use your brain, not your heart. You know, having a heart, yeah, I want to feed everybody in the world, right? I don't want nobody to be homeless, but my mind tells me I can't just bring any and everybody into my household because you can't trust them. So, and I say that to say, you know, the same thing with Eve and Adam, right? Once they did that, they didn't know what would come from that. But once they did that, next thing you know, the first murder that ever happens is a brother killing the other brother, which was Cain killing Abel. And that's all brought to you by, you know, from them eating, biting, you know, at the tree. The Most High already knew this. He already foreseen this. That's why he told them not to do that. But he gave them free will. You know, so it's not like, so people get mad because they be like, okay, well, why would God, if he knew this, why did he even allow this to happen? Well, God didn't create us as robots. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gave you free will. That's kind of like the ultimate gift in itself for you to have the ability to do what you want to do. He's still advising you what not to do, but it's not his fault if we chose to do that. I mean, we took that to our own hand. That's just like M3. You know, you let me come on your show. You know, you put the stream, you put the link up there, you let me come on. You don't know what I'm gonna say. Now, if I get on here and just start talking crazy and get to a point to where I'm jeopardizing you even having a platform, you got to cut me off. Like, John, you know, I allowed you to come up here. I enjoyed your company up until a certain point, but you know, I have rules and regulations, and if you can't follow that, you know, you got to cut me off. So that's just the same thing. And you know, people, like I say, being a man, you have to think logically instead of emotionally. Of course, women are just 100% emotional. They gonna always, you know, get emotional and don't want to take no accountability. And you know, a lot of men who are raised by women, being me, such as myself, we tend to get in our emotions too. But see, we got to check that and understand where we're steering wrong at. And when I use that example of a prime example, when you get behind the wheel of your car and you let the wheel go instead of steering it, it's gonna crash. That's what happened when Adam stopped steering Eve. See, once he stopped guiding based off the direction he was given from the ultimate, the master, the creator, he had connection. He had the plug in his back pocket. He had the Most High. You should have never, ever, ever let this woman run off and do something like that. It's gonna jeopardize the whole humanity, your kids, your everything, the whole entire universe. Everything changed from that moment. So that's a story that we need to. And this is just not saying that every man is gonna always be right, and that every woman should listen to any man. No, she should listen to the right man, and it should be the best man, and that should be the man that she chose. And if she chooses the wrong man, well, she's gonna have to deal with the, you know, the mistake in her error. But at the same time, you know, as a man, you should want to be righteous. You should want to have a connection with the Most High. You should want to be on one accord with your woman as well as with the Most High, and that's the perfect unity. Um, that shirt I had on, the most hated, biggest threat. You seen the man with two women. It doesn't just. I wasn't trying to just represent polygamous or polygamy. What I'm saying is women and man being on one accord, that's the biggest threat, and that's the most hated. It's most hated for man and woman to be on one accord by the government. It's most hated for man and woman to be on one accord by Satan. For man and woman to be on one accord is so powerful that there is nothing that can't be done. You know what I mean? Like, that's how empires are built. You know, that's how you can have a true kingdom. So once you can divide that up and you get the woman to, you know, being content with, you know what, I don't need a man, you know, these men ain't this, they not that, you know, I'm masculine myself, like, you know, I'm more masculine, I'm stronger than some of these men, you know, these men aren't good enough for me, and you know, I can teach a man how to be a man, and I know more than what these. Once women get to thinking like that, the only thing that follows from that is disaster. Time after time again.
Hey, you know, and John, right? I don't mean to cut you off for this one, but speaking of disaster, I'm gonna go with another reference. Okay, now this reference is like still from like Genesis, but now we're gonna be talking about Lot, Solomon, and what's it called, Gomorrah, right? In that city. Remember when there was so much wickedness that increased into that city, God was already had plans to destroy that city. But for whatever reason, he favored Lot and his family, and he sent angels to go knock on their door and tell them to pretty much get the hell out, because God's about to go ahead and do some damage. And also too, it was encountering some type of danger because it was like a lot of men who was like very, very thirsty and hungry, but however, they was thirsty and hungry for other men. And if we recall, right, I know I'm paraphrasing on a couple of things, but the men wanted to pretty much like have sex, with like other sons and stuff. And I remember in the Bible, Lot was telling them, "Hey, you can have sex with my daughters; they're pure virgins and all that."
Wait. The men wanted to have sex with who?
With other men, whether it be like the younger boys or whoever, they just want to have sex with other men, the same sex.
Oh, shit.
It was yeah. Hold on, I'll give you the reference. It's around in Genesis 19, like 26. You may have to go back a little bit, but I'll just say Genesis 19. And that's when because God had to destroy that city. It was just too much too perverted. But the point was okay, Lot offered them to have sex with pure women or virgins, but if I recall, they rejected his daughters because, like I said, they wanted to sleep with other men. And fast forwarding it, they had to leave the city because it was already coming down the rooms, and God was already about to put the heat on it with fire. So when they left, according to this, right, Lot's wife was turned into a pillow of salt or dust. In that story, it's because God gave that command: when you leave, do not look back. And that story was like a metaphor of don't look back into your past, look forward into your future. Now, like I said, this is God commanding.
Didn't that also happen? Well, didn't that also happen when, I don't know if it was, I think it was the Son of God. I think it was Christ was walking on water. And he said, "Don't look down, because if you look down, you're gonna drown. You're gonna fall into the water." Right? Wasn't that also said too? He said, "Don't look down." Right? When they were walking across the.
Well, that's not that. Well, that part what you're talking about was from the New Testament when he was talking to Peter. Don't look down to the water, because if you look down, you're pretty much going to fall. And this was about your faith. The one I'm referring to is based off the Old Testament. This was pretty much before Christ.
I was just making. Yeah, I was just making sure that was also, because I seen the similarities, like you were saying, they said don't look back, and that's what you were saying, it was metaphorical, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you don't look back, because that was still pretty much a test of your faith. You know what I mean? And anytime when you look back or when you have doubts, you're pretty much ruining your chances. You know what I mean? Because your faith is already at a low. So the fact that they went up to him, they was already gone. All they had to do was just keep running and just focus on what God told them through the angels. But instead, Lot's wife decided to turn around to see the city or whatever. Once she looked back, she turned to a pillar of dust. And pretty much Lot was just with his two daughters. I thought he had sons, but I'm not really for sure. I just remember that he took his children and they started to live in a new life. Now, here's where it gets crazy too, though, right? According to the scriptures, right, Lot's two daughters, was in scarcity because they felt okay, there's not enough men to pretty much carry on the seed, and so they decided to pretty much get their father Lot drunk, and they slept with him. Hold on, let me make sure I bring Bowl TV in the building. What's up, Bowl TV? Salutes to you.
Yo. What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to, elaborate a few things on what you're saying. The men, what happened was there was two angels sent to Lot, and they were men. Okay. And the angels said to Lot that we're going to stay and hold post outside. And Lot begged them, told them, "You listen, you're the angel of the Lord. Come inside. I'm not going to let you stay outside." So they eventually agreed. These men knew that they were men because the angels came as men, and they're
Mm-hmm.
knocking at the door. And when Lot opened the door, they were like, "Yo, send those two men that just came in. We want to know 'em." So now these dudes didn't know, that these were angels. They thought that they were just regular men. Lot said to them, you don't want this problem. Take my daughters. They had not known. And they said, nah, we don't want your daughters, man. We want those two dudes that's in there. So that's when they told Lot, move out the way, and they blinded everybody. So this is when they destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Now the point of, Lot's wife turning around, in other
Mm-hmm.
words, meaning her spirit was always back there, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Mm.
M3 and I are fighting for this one girl. And I tell that girl, and tell her, you got to make a choice, pick. And she says, I choose Bolo. And her and I are walking away, and she turns around to look at M3. Her spirit is back there with him. And that's what it was. Her spirit, that representation
Mm.
at that point was to prove that she wasn't with Lot. Her spirit was back there in Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's why she turned into salt. Because of the disrespect. Now, when it talks about Peter, when you talk about Peter with Christ, when
Mm-hmm.
Peter told Christ, call me and I'll come out on the water. And he said, come out. And Peter was walking for a little bit until he lost focus and started looking at everything else and he fell into the water. And Christ pulled him out and said, what your little faith? And what does that mean? That goes into um, focusing on the peripheral and not on the subject at hand, right? A
Mm.
lot of the times we get so caught up with everything around us and we don't focus on what we need to focus on. And those things pull us off the trajectory in which we need to be in. And that's the point. The Lord gave us peripheral vision for a reason. It's to know what's
Mm.
going on around us. But He gave you
Yeah.
focus also for a reason, for you to focus on Him. Everything else doesn't mean nothing. Now, you mark it and you let it know, but everything is more important for us to focus on what our goal is, opposed to what the peripheral will be. And that's how a lot of us get caught up in our situations. So that's all I wanted to come up with, man. Thank you for doing what you're doing. M3, love you, brother. John, the different, be strong,
Again,
blessings,
shout out
everybody,
to
man.
Bolo. Yeah, he was spitting over there, man.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah. Yeah, I was
that
trying to
that
give him my shout outs as well too though, but
he out
am
there
I
quick.
streaming you guys? Yeah.
That's
Hold
what's
on.
popping.
Hey guys, am I going in and out? I just want to make sure.
No, you straight.
Okay, okay. Yeah, man. Shout outs to Mr. Bolo TV. Shout outs to Best in the World as well too. Um, I'm glad that Bolo TV came up to provide like some proper clarity and context because I mean look, if you don't read the Bible consistently, like sometimes you're gonna forget about these stories. And like I said, these
Yeah.
stories definitely
And you see,
have like a lot to digest in.
yeah, you brought me back when you brought up the lot in the. That's why, cause like I remember reading about it, but it's like like you say, if you don't consistently do it, it kind of
Mm-hmm.
escape away from you. So as you re-saying it again, I'm visualizing it and it's coming back to me. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. Oh, well, what about this part? But that's the thing. That's why I say we supposed to what's the word? What's the word?
They say study the scriptures, meditate in your heart, and something
Congregate.
like that.
The word is to not congregate, but to you know what word it is. We're supposed to fellowship. And when we
Mm-hmm.
fellowship, this is what we do. Like we basically bounce off of each other because with this word, none of us ain't perfect. We don't have perfect minds and memory. So of course it's gonna be things we forget. But as we come together and we congregate and fellowship about these things, that's how we reconnect and we basically illuminate each other because I bring up this scripture, you bring up that when we put it back together. And like they
Mm-hmm.
say, whenever two or more come together in the name of the Most High, He'll be amongst them. You see what I'm saying? So that's
Mm-hmm.
just all we doing. And a lot of and one thing I like to point out to people is it's just about just gaining knowledge. It might be something you peep that I didn't peep. Nobody knows everything. It's not like I know everything. I like to be like a baby in faith, man. I'm still learning. It's a lot that I do know, but it's a lot that I don't. Way more, right? So I'm always open to listening to people's standpoints, and my thing is I just want to understand why people think what they think. I'm never just gonna shoot it down like it can't possibly have some truth to it or be true, because
Mhm.
if that's the case, I might as well be a closed book already. So anybody that's listening, I know the women too, they get to hearing it, they get opinionated, they might hear me say something and oh no, you don't feel attacked, like I say, come speak your piece. I'm open to explain to you clearly why I see things the way I see them, and if you could point something out to me where I'm wrong at, then I'm open to that. But when it comes to this story about what's the title of this tonight?
I mean, the story is basically like the theory, like if Eve cheated, like if did Eve really cheated on Adam, pretty much, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. She definitely. And another thing we talked about a lot when I came on here the other day, because I kind of brought that
Mm-hmm.
up. I said you don't have to just have sex with somebody to cheat. Like even if she
Mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily have sex with Satan, she might as well, because you allowed an outside party to misguide you of what real instruction that you had from not only your husband but the Most High, who is above him. And it's like that's what the same thing that happened to this day. Like a woman, they think certain things is small to them, but it be major to us as men. And like it could be as simple as you told your wife, hey, I need you to stop by the store, and just get this, but don't go anywhere else. Just go straight to the store. And then on the way to the store, some guy, convinces her to stop over here because it's a sale on something, like, and she say you needed her to be back from the store at a certain time. See, the one thing about women, they do things with goodness in their heart. They be really trying to do something good. It just don't be ending
Mm-hmm.
up like that. It just be going left. And like I say, you told her to go to the store and come straight back because you might have had to be somewhere at a certain time. She on the way to the store, she seen some guy with a sign. Hold on, my light went out. She seen some guy with a sign, and that guy said, "Hey, I got a sale on this right here." Now the
Mm-hmm.
goodness in your wife's heart, she like, oh, I could save me and my husband, my family some money. I'm just gonna get this right here. I know my husband told me just go here and come back, but let me stop here and then I'm gonna go to the store. She get that deal. She go to the store. She come back. You didn't miss some opportunity because she's late. And it has she just went to the store and came back, like you said, you would have been able to go and do what you were supposed to do. Now, in her mind, in her heart, she didn't do nothing wrong. She was looking out. She possibly was put on to some information she thought you didn't know about, but she knew it could possibly benefit you. So she took it among herself to take the initiative to, deal with the salesman or whatever that she seen on the way. But you being the man, you already knew, like, yeah, I might not have knew about that sale. That is a good sale. But what's bad is this opportunity that I missed out on because you didn't follow instruction. The
Yeah.
number one thing that men want is somebody just to follow instruction. Women think it's eyelashes, they think it's booty implants, they think it's the hips, the breasts, they think it's all sexual, they think it's all visual. But a man with a real man, I'm not talking about no beta man, a real man would much rather be respected than to even be loved, because we know women love a bunch of stuff, but they don't do right by what they love. They move emotionally, they move off emotion. So respect me, don't just love me. I want you to respect me, because if you respect me enough, you're not gonna disrespect me by not following directions. You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of women that I didn't dealt with before. They had people that they love, but they still dealt with me. So at the end of the day, I don't want to hear that. Oh, just because you love me, like the love is not finna. No, I need the respect, because if you respect me enough, you won't disrespect me. And I'm not saying respect is fear. No, I don't want to. I don't rather be feared than loved. I'd rather be respected more than anything. I don't want you to fear me, but I do want you to respect me, because there's a whole bunch of things that I don't do out of respect. I respect my grandparents to the point to where I'm not going to use certain language or profanity or certain things around them. I love them too, but I respect them more than
Mm-hmm.
I love them. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I might love my woman, but I could get so mad that I could possibly call her out her name or something like that. That's coming off of love. But if I respect my woman, I would never call her out her name. You see what I'm saying? I might,
Mm-hmm.
M3, you might love your siblings, you might love your brother, but your brother could get you so mad at some point, you might physically put hands on him. But if you respect him enough, you would never do that. You see what I'm saying? So respect is,
Mhm.
I say respect over love, you know, and all that. Like,
No, I
you know,
agree. I was just gonna say that. I think respect should be like the number one factor as opposed to love, because you can love anything. You can love cake and ice cream. You know what I mean? But do you respect, like, the calories that you put into your body? Do you respect your temple? You know what I
mm,
mean? So you gotta understand like these type of factors that respect definitely comes like a long way. And I'm glad that you put in that perspective, because this is the thing. You know, I don't believe that Eve, right, was a person that, like I said before, like she wasn't created to do harm or damage to Adam. Is that she was following her role as the helper for Adam. But unfortunately, there was no logic into her sense of thinking, because when you mentioned that deal, you have Satan coming into her life, giving her a deal. When you talking about, hey, you're gonna get this knowledge, you're gonna get this power, you get this understanding, you're like, oh man, I need to help out my husband because that's what God commanded for me to do. So let me go ahead and make a good impression and give him this fruit. But like I said, like you said before, um, Adam, who already knows, and in Scripture was commanded not to really eat certain type of things. So it
uh-huh.
was Adam's responsibility to make sure that he led in that situation, so Eve could be the better helper that she was meant to be, and to really help Eve by respecting her is that saying, "Hey, look, you know, this is," and salutes to you, Rush. He's like, all he had to do is just say, "Hey, look, you know, this is not what was commanded, and you're disobeying like God's commandments. I'm sorry, commandments.
Uh-huh.
So go throw that fruit away." But although she did ate that fruit, so by her eating that fruit, it's like, okay, I guess that makes her like, not pure anymore. Which then that had to lead to a decision for Adam. Well, dang, I may love this woman, but this woman doesn't respect my father. He doesn't respect the man that I'm working hard for. So I need to let God know that, hey man, like I need to let her go. You know what I mean? If Adam respected God, but Adam did not
Mm.
had the same respect for God,
You
even though he
know, I
probably
never
loved him
thought
to a
about.
point to, yeah, because it still
I never
falls
thought
on
about that.
Adam. The
What if
same,
he
yeah,
would?
because
But because he ate, he after she did it, he did it too though. So
yeah,
had he
uh,
not, I don't. That's crazy. It's kind of like he was just meant to
it,
follow along. It's like, what was he gonna do? It wasn't no other women.
but see, God could have gave him more women though. Even had well, here's the thing: is the theory, right? This goes back to the theory of Lilith, right? Because in theory, right, by Jewish folklore, they say that Eve was not the first wife. They would say Lilith was the first wife, and let's say if Lilith was the first wife for Adam, because the scriptures also did say that, even though it doesn't be tampered with, but then there's other stories that happen in the Bible that was not recorded because it would have been too much for our understanding.
We know that because it said
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Eve was the first ones created. It said Cain and Abel was their children. It said Cain killed
Well,
Abel and was cursed, and he
well,
ran off into the wilderness. And then
wait,
people
wait,
took
wait, wait. But hold on, John. Right? Adam was the first to be created, but Eve came from Adam's rib. But
right.
what was not recorded was that Adam and, let's say, Lilith, right, was created from the same dust or the same type of form of
Oh,
clay. You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay.
Lilith was
Yeah.
a different woman. She wasn't Eve's. No, she wasn't Adam's like
Wife.
part like rib or whatever, right? So technically Eve was like the first from Adam, but if we go by Lilith, right, you know
So what question, right?
hmm?
So
Yeah.
if she didn't come from Adam, which Eve came from his rib, which made her
Hmm.
woe man, which made woe man,
Yeah,
was Lilith even a woman then, if that's the case?
man, this is what they
I
said.
mean,
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make
yeah.
it make sense, bro.
I,
Like,
I know I'm trying to make it make sense too, like but unfortunately, because like this is just something that's by theory, the only thing I could just imagine is that like she probably wasn't a woman, but they still reference her as a she or whatever, or as Adam's wife, but it could be in a different type of term. You know what I
mhm.
mean? By the end of it, they said that she was like, a demon of sexual temptation, which is like, okay, that will be a story for itself. But the main point was that she did not look at Adam as a equal, or look at Adam as a person that was supposed to be above her as God commanded. And she pretty much left Adam because she refused to be a submissive. Let me see, what is it? Submissive. It was created. Yeah, they just say like she refused to be subservient to Adam. So not
So
like
she
a
was,
submissive word.
and she was before or after Eve. Go ahead.
Yeah, she was before Eve, according to the theory, right? Because her and Adam was born in the same clay. That's
Let's
what they
see.
say. And like I said, if we go by that theory, and if that was really true, then that opens up to a whole other, to many more stories that we can't even really fathom, because we could only go by what was written in the book.
Yeah, but that contradicts what the story of. Then if that's the case, sin had already been walking around the earth then, because whether they bit from the tree or not, it was already a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but it was already a woman beforehand that didn't want to follow direct. And if she was the first woman, then woman just in general, it's just. I mean, I don't even want to say it because they gonna try to already know they gonna fire me up.
Yeah, I'm not here to try to confuse nobody. I'm just like, go
Mr.
ahead,
Nuts,
Mr.
you know
Nuts.
where I'm going with this, bro. You know
Yeah,
where I'm going with this. Like, even if that is true, then y'all, it's like, man, like, I mean, like they say, but it also says a virtuous woman is like the value has a higher value than like rubies, and it's very rare to to find a virtuous woman. And all these women, they say, oh, I'm so different, and I'm not like the rest of them, and this and that. But time after time again, we really just see it's really just the same thing. I mean, you just gotta pick and choose like what you willing to deal with. Some of them is gonna be more or less this than the other, and that's just what you're looking at. Just being a man. That's just how it is.
yeah.
Yeah, let me build family. Salute to the whole family up here, man. John, I see you, brother. Man, you've been killing it with the music, man. Thank you for dropping dope content too, man. I see you, brother. And three,
So,
you already know what it is. I think this is because I did a show on this about a month and a half ago, about Lilith and the whole concept of this on the Black Files. And this was my conclusion to mostly everything in religion. And even with theories of Lilith and of Eve and of Adam, and Adam having a brother, or maybe there was other beings created alongside Adam and all this other stuff. Maybe there's different forms of black people. Maybe white people that come from black people. Maybe they don't speak. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff, right? There's a whole lot of theories and thoughts, and how everybody was born on this planet, and who came from where, and where they came from, and what did God do, or whatever. The conclusion to it all, and I think everybody should take this in consideration. We don't know. We're going based on faith. You know what I mean? You have faith that when you take that water out of the freezer, you have faith that when you pour it into the glass, it's going to go into the glass, right? You feel that that it's going to go into the glass. But what if one day you pour it and it didn't go into the glass? You would start tripping, right? You would really start tripping. You're like, yo, what is going on here? The water's not flowing into the glass. Like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? But you believe. Right now, John, you're sitting where you're sitting. You believe that if you unlock the door and you open the car, the door will open. You believe that will happen. But what if it didn't? You know what I'm saying? We all go on belief and faith. That's what we believe. That's what our whole life existence is based on. We have faith that things are going to be a certain way. We have faith that the sun's going to come up in the morning. Hey, I have faith that it's going to rain Wednesday and Thursday and Friday because they said that, on the weather for the whole California and mostly the whole West Coast. It's going to rain all through the West Coast Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and some places on Saturday, maybe Sunday. But it may not happen. It may be nice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm going based on faith and what I'm told and what I believe. And that's life. We always are going based on faith. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, now when it comes to the nature of women or men and women, listen, you know what I'm saying? I hold people accountable, whether it's a man or woman. So if it's women who are, I guess, quote unquote, I I would say I don't even say because when somebody's unruly, I won't even give my energy to somebody that's unruly because you're choosing to not do the right thing. Like you just choosing not to do it, and you know you're choosing not to do it. So it's a waste for me to have that conversation. But if you are somebody who is actively saying you're looking for somebody and you're trying to find the right man and you're trying to find a man for leadership and things of that nature, and you are doing things contrary to that, then I'll hold you accountable and responsible for that. Same thing for a man. You say you're looking for a certain type of woman, or you really want to be with a certain type of woman, and you're not doing things to be in that position, I'm going to hold you accountable. You know what I mean? I think any spaces we have to just stop blaming or showing that women are at fault or it's the women's thing. Look, man, at the end of the day, as men, as leaders, yes, it's going to fall on you. That's what being a leader is. You know what I mean? Hey, you may not like it. It is what it is. We like the benefits of leadership. The benefits of leadership is fucking nice, right? You like the strength, right? You like the fact that you're stronger. You like the fact that, you know, we able, you know, we able to, you know, be more. We have the testosterone and the physical strength and all that. We love the benefits of leadership, right? Women have to submit to our will and all that. We love that, right? We love that. But in that, in every part of leadership, it can be in sports or anything else, in business or anything else. In leadership, when things go wrong, you got to take the brunt of the shit. That's just how it is. Excuse me. You take the glory and you take the burden. That's true leadership. You know what I mean? So if men, if we don't want to be leaders no more, then yeah, you know, I mean, let it be equal. Let the women have their own rights and all this other stuff, and you know, everybody has their own genders. But if we say we really want to be leaders and we stand on that, then we got to say that comes with the territory. If things go bad, tough shit. Okay, not everybody's gonna be on board with your leadership. You know what I mean? Even if you have a king or you have somebody who is in charge of a whole territory or in charge of a country, not everybody agrees with that person. It's impossible. Nobody agrees with the philosophy of one person. Not everyone does. I don't care how much that country supports that king or that leader or whatever. Nobody agrees with everything they do, right? We know that. So with that being said, when it comes to women who are not respecting leadership, let them be. You know what I mean? A lot of times, what's the problem is that men are chasing women that are out of their league. And it's a lot of times it's based on insecurity. Out of their league meaning, I don't mean this woman is better than you. I just mean she's not on the same wavelength as you. You know what I mean? You're into something that she's not into, okay? And she's never going to be into. You want to be somebody who's a business person. You want to be decent. You don't want to be in the streets. And this woman's in the streets. She shows you she in the streets. Hell, you probably met her in the streets. And you want her to be decent. It don't make no sense. You know what I mean? You can't take her. You can't turn a pigeon into an eagle. They don't fly in the same area. They fly different, you know, different heights. An eagle flies higher than a pigeon, man. That's a fact. So you cannot want these women who are showing you they for a certain lifestyle to just change. They're not changing. And plus, there are men already in that lifestyle with them. That's cool with it. That want them to be ratchet. Because they hood with them. They ratchet with them. You know what I mean? Let the ratchets take the ratchets, man. Let the business people take the business people. The nerds take the nerds. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got an ecosystem. You know what I mean? When you step out your ecosystem, understand it may be rough for you, okay? Because now you mess with somebody who's not on your wavelength, man. They're out of your league, which means that they're not with the same energy you with. So just let it go. I ain't never complained about nobody they have the same energy as me, especially a woman. You got the same energy as me? Bye. That easy. You know what I mean? Because I don't have time to waste. You know what I mean? And why am I going to hold somebody back from something that they want to be? You ain't going to hold me back. I know that for sure. I'm going to do what I need to do. So these women who are unruly or they don't want to be led or whatever, let them be, man. There's a sector for them, and they'll be fine. And maybe one day they'll choose to be a wife or whatever they want to be. You know what I mean? It is what it is. That's all my stance on that.
Hey, fair well said.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he spoke. He said, you were speaking for me, man. Shit, I feel how you feel about it, bro. Real talk. And what's funny, too, is we kind of got on this, too. When you asked me the other day when I was on here, and you said how I feel about should a woman submit, and I was like, man, look, a lot of times if the woman ain't submitting to you, she just don't want to submit to you. There's somebody that she will, but it just ain't you. So you got to just find who's for you. And we was talking about men trying to court women that are just, like you said, out of their league, on a whole different, spirit than what you on. Regardless, you could be attracted to them physically, but if y'all mentally, spiritually not on in the same type of space, like it's just never gonna work. And
Mm-hmm.
and that even like with this thing too, like with the like how a woman feels about whether Eve cheated or not, that kind of really tells you a lot about her, and if you want to deal with her in that kind of way, what you gonna be looking at. Because women, like when it comes to accountability and like these women modern day, and I'm not saying all of them before somebody get in the comment going crazy on it. I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying a lot of them, right? They don't want to take accountability for nothing. They can literally see things right in their face. Like it- Adam was made, Eve was made. Whether Lilith was true or not, we just talking about the Adam and Eve story from what we know. If we gonna go based off of that, they gave instructions not to eat from this tree. The lady went over there, talked to a serpent or whatever entity creature Satan came as, and convinced her to do that. Ever since then, all this other shit happened. So it's like a woman, and then it's like this, all she had to do was follow instructions. So to this day, when a woman has problem with following instructions, she always want to challenge you, or she want to try to go, that's already signs right there that that's the spirit that she got in her. You know what I mean? She feels for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, some whatever else been in her ear, because that it's always something in their ear. It's always something in their ear. So whoever else is in their ear has penetrated their mind to believing, these falsifications and theories that, you don't exactly have to follow what this man say 100% to the T. You can still kind of lead here and there, in 50-50 and all this other bullshit. That be in their spirit, that be lingering in them, and it be coming out here and there, when you give them a direction or just ask them to do something, and they try to kind of question you or try to like, challenge you on it or some shit like that. Like, I mean, look, um what Mr. Best said, is the prime example. Like, I mean, he just laid it all out there, man. Like, don't even waste your time. If their energy is not matching yours, you gotta separate. Like, we don't got time is not on our side. I think I made a post that said that on my Instagram like a few hours ago. I said time is not on our side like that. Like, we don't got time to just be chilling in our building. Like, we need to be coming to some understanding, coming to some conclusions, so we can make some resolutions about, how we gonna move forward. And with these situations that we face, and it's already a state of emergency being a young black man and woman out here. And the prime example of us being dysfunctional is how we are continuously, victims of attacks, because we can't come on one accord with understanding things and moving forward as a unit. We let this story of Adam and Eve keep us separate. I mean, even to this day, to the point to where, everybody else not arguing about it. Everybody else, it got a foot on this stool that we call oppression, which is on our backs, and we still sit up here going back and forth over who is right out of Adam and Eve, when the conclusion that's really happening is we still ended up in this situation we're in. And if we don't come together, which we know our government don't want us together, that's why they won't give the woman assistance unless the man is not in the household. So the same way
Mm-hmm.
how Satan came and got in Eve's ear and was like, yeah, God don't want you to eat from that tree because you're gonna be like him, and you're gonna be God, and you're gonna be powerful, and you're gonna be mighty. All the shit that they fill these women head up with, yeah, get rid of the man, and then you're gonna be up here. And they purposely do this because it creates dysfunction. And that goes back to like that sweatshirt I made that had the man with the two women that said most hated, biggest threat. They have to create division between that to conquer us. They know that it with men and women on one accord, but there's nothing that can stop. There's nothing that can stop it. And we raising children and they following suit with what we instilling in them, we will be unbeatable. But what they do is they infiltrate. We got to keep the man down. So what we'll do is we'll let a woman get this type of position, but never let the man get this type of position right here. What that'll do is that'll instill in her head that maybe she's somewhat greater, or there's something that she has in her that he doesn't have in him, or either he's not trying hard enough. Even though we already got it set in stone, he's never gonna get to this spot anyway because we won't allow it. But let's just instill that little bit of hope in her mind. Meanwhile, she'll just be able to walk around in the building, but we'll just basically let her get the crumbs and scraps off the table. We'll never let her really get a real seat to have some real say so, but at least she'll be in the building. That's enough for her to feel she has superiority over the male. There's this thing that I have that I came up with a concept, right? And it's called the piss theory. And whether you agree with it or not, I don't even care. But the theory is based off, this is the piss theory. Every nationality has some other nationality to piss on except for the so-called black man, even the black woman, because at the end of the day, the black woman can still lightweight, with all this that's raining down on her, she can still look down and rain upon the black man because they give them that little bit of leeway and power just to create division and to have the children. Most of the times, they'll award them that, they'll award them this child support, they'll award them with government assistance, and just a little enough to where she can hold that over the man's head. Like, look, I got this. I don't got to listen to you. I'm independent, even though they dependent on every other resource in the world. But in their minds, they're independent, which means that they don't need a so-called black man. Now, like I said, this piss theory, you have different people coming from whole different countries, barely even can't even speak this language, right? They can still get jobs, they can get grants, they can get all these things that can assist them to where they can still be looked at in society. The white supremacists or whatever, they still, racist prejudice against everybody, but they still are smart enough to create this structure of this pyramid type of thing, to where it's like, look, you won't be where I'm at, but you'll still be over this black man right here. So at the end of the day, you'll see a dude get promoted that can't even speak English over a black male, who's fully functional. He might be in shape, whatever. They'll tell you you're overqualified or you're underqualified, but then you go to the same establishment and somebody who can't even articulate what you're saying will be working there. And I'm saying that's a part of the piss theory also. As long as we continue to give these other scraps and just enough to where they can be over the black man, we'll keep the black man at the bottom. You know what I mean? And us being black men, it's an uphill battle, because you trying to convince your black woman, that if we can just be on one accord, we can reign supreme. She feels like if y'all reign supreme and you're somewhat above her, which you're the man anyway, but she has to be below you, which is something bad, which is, in her mind is like, no, it got to be 50-50, or, we should be equal, or, it's something wrong. We're the only people that's fighting with the monarchy and the patriarchy. Like, with us and all the other cultures, they're not fighting about that. When you look at the so-called black culture, we're fighting over, who should be the head out of the man or the woman. When you look at the French, when you look at every other, race, they're not there. It's not even an argument. People know their roles and they're playing it and they're dominating and they're blossoming generational wealth, time after time again. And I'm not trying to get too far off subject, but it all relates to each other because it all comes back to following instruction. The Most High told us what to do, how to live, when and where. We disobeyed, and to this day we keep paying for it. And like I say, we can come up here with all these facts where we breaking down between us three, and you'll still have a woman or somebody will come on here and they want to go back and forth about, oh no, really, that's not what happened. This is what happened. Well, look, we still where we at right now, and it kind of, I mean, if that didn't happen, then why are we still like in the same type of situation right now? Why do you think that we can't get on one accord as a unit, all together as a whole? Because the woman allows another entity, another creature, another being to get in her ear and talk her out of being on one accord with the man. And I don't want to talk for too long though, but I just had to get that off my chest because
Yeah. No, you good. Well, one salutes to Quantum Love. Thank you for tuning in. But what does nature have to do with her not following instructions, especially when it's basic? And salutes to Big Rig Slaps in the building. So salutes to you, like fam. But no, everything that you're saying, it's definitely 100% facts, because even in Vouaghn Bryant, he was saying about an example. Um, and what did Adam do that seems familiar to what we do today when he was confronted by God about the transgression? He said, "It was the woman that you gave me that caused me to do this," taking no accountability. you know. And when we get engulfed into like some of these stories, even whether if it's written or not, we have to be careful not to be divisive about it, because sometimes we get so deep into it, we still allow these stories to distract us from what's really going on. And what's really going on is that we're lacking as a whole to be unified. Likewise, this whole topic was just about theories anyway, so I just want to kind of like dab into that because I'm like, if I hear certain things, I'm like, hey, might as well like share it to you guys, whether if it's true or not. I do believe that it's more to it than just reading the Bible and then just looking at things that because it's written in text, we're just gonna just go by it and just believe it. Everybody have their own different belief system. Um, Even like with the analogy that Mr. Best was saying, like you pouring ice into like a glass, or let's say like we're drinking water, right? From the faucet, or we're drinking water from that's labeled to be pure. Either way, we're still having the faith to believe that whatever we're putting in our bodies is not going to cause us like no harm, or whoever's serving the product that we're eating, that the person through faith, right, that the person's not spitting our food or doing something else that's contaminated. So everything that we do, we operate, whether if it's consciously or subconsciously, it all ties in based off of like our level of faith. We're not gonna go to like a certain type of restaurant if we already know how people will serve us or what goes on behind the food. You know what I mean? We go there because we see something we experience something that we like, and we're just gonna go with it by faith that hey, it's gonna continue to be good or continue to be better. So let's see.
Wait, let me give a shout out to the Quantum. Quantum, I see you. Big Rig, I see
Mm-hmm.
you. Let me say this in three. I think, and I know women sometimes y'all fight against this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be fighting this, women. You do. All right, but as John was saying, in order for it to thrive, you got to be subservient to a man.
Oh,
Okay. I know y'all hate that. I know
hey,
y'all hate that. I know
Quantum,
y'all. I know,
Quantum,
huh?
not to cut you off, but I just seen Quantum talking about Eve love nature as she should. Wasn't she just the one that was on here talking about she would never be attracted or she would never? That's you by nature.
Um,
All right, I'm not gonna go ahead though. Go ahead though, man. But
I'll
Yeah,
let
but
you.
that's why I
no,
got.
I'll let you.
women,
I'll let you.
go
I'll
ahead.
let you. I'll let you get into that in a minute, bro. I'll let you get into that in a minute. But
Go ahead. Go ahead.
shout out to Quantum the twin. Shout out. But I'll say this, and I'm gonna let you get into it in a minute. But I'm gonna say this, like women, you gotta be subservient to men. You may not want that. You may think that you can do it on your own. You may have all this philosophy in your mind, but we'll never thrive unless you're subservient to a man. We will never thrive. Okay. Now I understand that. Yes, certain men, are not qualified to be leaders. We understand that. All right, we understand it. That's fully known. Okay, you know what I'm saying. But here's the thing. You know what I'm saying. Even with that, like not all women. We all know there's gonna be some women who are not gonna be submissive, right? They're gonna be unruly. That happens in all societies. They're called wayward women. You know what I'm saying? And every society has a wayward woman. They're referencing the Bible. They're referencing different religious texts. All right, there are women who are out there. We know that. But at the end of the day, in order for things to thrive, you have to be subservient to a man. You know what I mean? I know y'all may not like that, but it's the only way. It is the only way. When my family was in order, you know what I mean? My grandfather was running shit, and that's just what it was. And there's nothing. And ever since my grandfather ain't been here, he's transcended. It ain't been the same. All right, men have to lead. Point blank. Period. Ain't nothing else to be said.
Go ahead, John. I'm gonna add on to it later on.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Best talking that talk, man. But bro, what I'm saying, I see Quantum come on here. I might be wrong, but I believe it was her that the other day we was talking. She was saying, "Oh, I would never entertain. I don't care if a
No,
dude
it
is a
was her.
celebrity." That was her. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now this is what's funny to me because is this not a pure contradiction, right? She's saying, "Oh." Eve was, loving nature as she should, and this, and that. Well, is it not human or man and woman nature to be attracted and to, and that's another thing too, right? Eve is the one that was talked into, disobeying instruction. So the same way that Eve, who basically was, had even sinned, that this was the first thing she did was be misguided, talking out of turn. Quantum is claiming that she would never talk to somebody that was, in a relationship, and she wouldn't entertain it, and she wouldn't do this. So Quantum, Eve loved nature as she should. You kind of support that. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, how is you different from Eve? Like, what? I mean, am I confused here, or don't that sound contradictory? Like, we're gonna cheer on Eve for loving nature as she should, but me, oh, even though it's nature in me, even though I'm a woman that's attracted to men and all this, I would never. Oh yeah, it's just so beneath me. I could never. Man, I bet you Eve probably thought the same thing. But like I say, women talking and even trying to go back and forth, that's how y'all even allow this door to be open. Because if you're going to keep talking, you can be talked into something. A lot of times it's best, like, you just don't need to say nothing. Like, that's how you gonna keep it, all the way, official with your significant other. Eve just looked away, didn't even look at the serpent, turned the other way, walked away, it would have been fine. But what did she do? She entertained it. And that's all I'm trying to tell. She say also love nature. They were placed in the garden. Also love nature. Yeah, but now you trying to use semantics. You trying to play on words. Now we not no. You know what you meant, and we know what you meant, and we speaking on that. Um, yeah, man. You can't have it. Just be honest. Just the thing. Like I say, I'm seeing different. I'm not claiming to be no saint. I'm not saying that I'm too above or too, well, certain things that I just know I'm just not gonna do, period. It's not a chance. But at the same time, like, just in general, like, I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna sit up here. The way these women be capping and trying to wolf on this internet, it be crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just like how the other lady came on here and was wolfing so hard and Mr. Best pulled her card. Like, bro, like, come on, man. We just gotta be real. The truth gonna set us free. All we gotta do is be real with each other. It ain't gonna make you no better, no worse. By sitting up here listening to, some educated, theories from some educated males, who really just trying to build and just have some understanding, and come on one accord. I'm not trying to attack Quantum. I'm not trying to attack nobody, but I just gotta point out the hypocrisy, with men and women. Because if a man come on here capping and he contradicting himself, I'm gonna point that out too. But we talking about relationships, and we talking about between men and women. So yeah, like all this, women be trying to cheer on Eve, like they want to put a cape on her. How you gonna make Eve like she's some sort of hero or something? Eve is the reason why you in this shit you in right now. You trying to sit up here and
Oh shit!
you know what I'm saying? To be real, but then what they gonna say?
Yeah,
No,
where that church
Adam
organ
would have.
at? Where that church
They
organ
gonna
at?
say
M3.
Hold
they.
on. I got it. Because right now you cooking right now, so I didn't want to interrupt you with the church organs, but man,
Eve is the reason why you in this shit right now. You trying to sit up and you gonna come on here and you gonna sit up there and say, "Oh yeah, man, well, Adam, he loved nature too. They were in the garden, and oh no. Don't try to, because this is what y'all women do. What y'all gonna resort back to is, well, if Adam would have been a man like he was supposed to, and he would have, then maybe she wouldn't have. Man, listen, how can you cannot, now I'm not excusing Adam for the only where he messed up at is because he can't control her like that. He could have told her no, and she still could have did it because she had her own free will, right? We wasn't telling him to grab her by the throat and make her not, no, none of that, right? But he didn't have to partake in it too after she did it. And M3 kind of brought that up. I was like, damn, I didn't even think about that. Like, what if he wouldn't have did that? Like, how would that, we still just all, would he still would have been punished too? Like, or what would the Most High, we'll never know. But the thing with Eve is, and with women trying to say, well, if Adam would have did this, no, because you got to take accountability for your own actions. If you say, for example, okay, we'll say this then, right? Women that say that is the same type of woman that'll go to work, say you and your husband got a job, or you working, you go to work, and you're not with your husband while you're at work. You start having a work relationship or whatever. Somehow that is the husband's fault, because if he would have been rich enough to where, I guess, where you wouldn't even have to work, or you just should have been at the house. Like, there's always an excuse to point back to the man, when at the end of the day you got your own free will and choice. You knew what you want to do. Women know what's in their heart. They know they are vessels that need to be filled. They know this. So instead of I just respect the women that just keep it real and just say how they really be. Like, that's what I like to hear. Just be yourself, because I'm already looking at you how I'm gonna think about you, and which I won't always reveal that, but I'm gonna feel how I'm gonna feel regardless. But I still give people the opportunity to, talk themselves up and, present their case or whatever. But I'm still looking at you like, come on, y'all could come with every excuse in the book. And I know at the end of the day, we all got the same 24 hours. We all got choices in life. Trying to blame the man for an action that you take into your own hands to commit, that's just out of pocket. Like, I mean, let's just be real, And like I say, the story of Adam and Eve, I ain't gonna lie. Any man that's trying to court a woman on some relationship, and you a spiritual male, you definitely need to know how women view things like this, because that show you in the long run, if shit get bad, you know how they say when you get married, they say for better or for worse, you're gonna stick it through thin. Well, the divorce rate proves that ain't nobody for better for worse. Soon as shit get a little bit bad, they ready to be gone on your ass, right? So what men and women
Oh
need to be doing,
shit.
what men and women need to be doing is, how do we view this first story of the first alleged men and women, from the mistakes that they made in this relationship that we getting ready to get into. Mistakes gonna be made, right? But is, no matter what happened, is we really for each other forever, for better or for worse? Because somebody can end up, women, they always have reasoning to why, they do what they do, and they disobey, or they, I'll be like, oh well, the spark was just gone, and and I just needed this, and it's gonna always come out right. But when you married that man, see, that's why a lot of time, like today, I feel like people want to get married just for, just like the ceremony of being married. Like, they don't want to be married like to live and be with somebody forever. They want to get married just to say, look, I had a wedding, like I got a ring, like it's just like a trophy, like, you feel me? But that's all it means. They really ain't finna be, they really not trying to stick with you. It's like they say, a virtuous woman is rare and hard to find. I really take my hat off, and I truly admire the relationships of the elders from the past that used to be together. I mean, through thick and thin. I'm talking about, man, a woman with her husband, he on his deathbed, she right there, she ready to die with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if a woman is not ready to, I mean, listen, trust in my faith and follow behind me, and even if it look like we finna walk off this cliff, she believe in me that much, she gonna walk right with me. That's who I want to marry. I'm not trying to marry, I don't need somebody who, because one thing about men, we're visionaries, which, just like how the Most High, when he say you got to walk in faith, you have to be a visionary to walk in faith. Women go off of what they see, what's in front of them. They not really visionary usually like that. So a woman is gonna be looking at how things going, like, damn, we have been married for this long, and he do always make a way, but man, he just lost his job. I don't know how we gonna do this. Damn, we got these bills coming in like this. It's not looking good. Damn, this dude over here though, he always been, waiting in the cut, trying to friend zone, trying to wait for his chance. Maybe because, but you know what? I'm not wrong though, because in my heart, I love my husband. And maybe if I go do this and I go entertain this, maybe I can make a way, and I can, that way I'll save the relationship. But, and if my husband would have did this, I wouldn't even have to do, because like I say, she want to blame the man again. So that's gonna come up. But really, she been entertained. She had a little friend she had in the friend zone the whole time, which, and it'd be crazy too, because women always say this, but they know they be lying. A woman always knows who's next in line. I don't care how long she been married. She got one man that she know, like, okay, if it go bad, I'm finna just be, go to entertaining this dude right here. You know what I'm saying? And this will be the next, who's next up. And you always got the simp, who gonna wait 50 years. You know what I'm saying? The woman way past her prime. And you know what? I'm gonna say this as an example too, because we all done seen this, right? Remember the girl that was the it girl in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
and you wanted her in high school, and she just knew she was bad. Like she played with you back then. Like she knew, like she had so many options. She wouldn't really even entertain you like that. But then as life went on and y'all got older, now y'all grown and you didn't came up. You might not have been, on your shit like that in high school, but now you got shit in order. You didn't evolved into yourself. And then you see her, she's still in the same city, still go to the same bars and clubs, still go to the same local little events. And now she didn't, she's not in her physical prime like she was no more. She's a little bit out of shape, she still got, she still might be cute or whatever, but you could tell, she be drinking more so. And now it's very easy for you to just catch her at the bar, you know what I mean, and knock her down, that night or whatever. And then she want to be with you now, but you don't want to be with her like that because it's like, no, you're way past your prime. You done been with this dude, that dude, and the other. And I no longer see you. I no longer see you as the tro. And then what they want to say too, but what about these dudes? Y'all be sleeping with all these different. Hey, listen. This is the thing, right? And I'm not saying that dudes need to be sleeping around like crazy. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this. Unfortunately, being a woman, I have to keep it real with you. If you being a woman, you will never be, even though you can fight for it until your death day. You could try to fight for equal rights and be looked at like kind of man. And if they gonna be hoe, you could be a hoe too. And you a player, you not a hoe. And you can think about all that, but it will never be respected. And if you really want to be like the women of the past who were respected wives and husband who held them to high regards and respected them like that, you gonna have to bite the bullet on passing on a lot of these opportunities to go to the club with your girls, dotting it out, twerk videos on the gram and all this. Because I'm gonna tell you like this, right? A man will have intercourse with a woman based off of at the time he was just turned on or whatever, and he'll just think nothing of it. He'll move on. A woman, when she's, every time she's having intercourse with these males, she's losing a piece of her. It's a piece of her that's being attached to her that's being taken away, and she's going from man to man. So eventually, there's an emptiness. If you look at a lot of these women who are known for being promiscuous, right, and then they get interviewed about it, and then like they try to say like basically they don't have no shame. You look at an Amber Rose, you look at Brittany Grain, what's her name or whatever her name
Renner.
is, Grenner or whatever, right? Brittany Renner,
Mhm.
right? Look at their eyes, right? And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes you got to do like this to your screen. You got to just put your hand up to where all you see is the eyes. When you look in their eyes and they're trying to, diffuse, like when people ask them about like, oh, how they should be ashamed of themselves for doing what they do, they always get like this blank stare and they put up this shield and they go in defense mode and they try to lie like, oh no, I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with me sleeping with everybody and da 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 da. And if the men can do it, then so can we. And it's about women empowerment and blah blah blah. But if you really look in their eyes, it's that loneliness, it's that sadness, it's that look of they can't reverse all the partners they didn't had sex with. They can't take that away. And they're not gonna tell you that they be crying themselves to sleep at night. They not gonna tell you this why they can't stop drinking alcohol every single day. They not gonna tell you this is why they will never, give good advice to another woman who has a good relationship going because misery loves company and they want to bring you down with them. So it's like you
Yeah.
got, you know what I'm saying? I, I always tell women, your girlfriends, that ain't got no man, you can only fuck with them to an extent because at the end of the day, they are never going to just walk you happily into a relationship where you finna be secure. Because now who they gonna hang with? They lonely. You know what I'm saying? But of course they gonna tell you, oh man, F that nigga girl, come party with me. And it's a party full of it's a trend on social media right now. I think it's Glorilla. It's either Glorilla or City Girls. I don't know which one of the female rappers, right? But the lyric goes this. She
Mhm.
said, I ain't worried about no nigga. Let's go get fine on these niggas where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 niggas. I hear this lyric, right? And I'm seeing women doing TikToks to it. And I'm really
Oh
thinking, right,
shit.
as a woman, do you really think you can go get fine and get fly and go flaunt yourself in front of 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 niggas and you think they're gonna, out of them 500 niggas, they're gonna all be respectful enough. Nobody's gonna grab you without permission. Nobody's gonna call you out your name. Nobody is gonna be catcalling. Nobody is gonna possibly take it upon themselves that might try to rape you, sexually assault you. Might take it all the way there, right? But a woman, these women are trying to put this persona out there like, no, we could dress how we want to. If we want to show our body and be sexy, we should be able to do that and not be judged. Hey, I'm not saying we can judge you, right? But what I am saying is y'all need to keep it real by letting these younger women know what type of predicaments they really be putting themselves in. Y'all remember when y'all seen Players Club and the nigga was following Diamond. How much money I done spent with you, and he didn't want to let it go. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that be the part that they don't be telling it, and we got to keep it real by letting the younger generations know. Like, look, yeah, it's all cute and cool and all that. You get all the views and the attention and all that, but the energy that you put out there is gonna bring a certain attention, and it's gonna cause a reaction that you might not be ready for. And that all comes back
Yeah.
to following instruction. And y'all always got that man. Y'all always say y'all want a good man, but y'all really don't. Y'all be turning down the good man. Y'all want to deal with the other man. And when they do with you and have their way with you and be through with you, don't say, oh, all men ain't shit. All men is dogs. No, you entertain and want to fuck with the dogs. Let's just be real. You want to be dogged. You want to be did doggy and dogged out and all kind of dogs by the dog. And then when the dog be through with you and go with another one and trying to dog, now you're mad. But that same dude, who was trying to be respectful to you, respectfully want to ask you out, want to take you to dinner and something. Oh man, he too square, he this and that. You didn't want him. So what y'all got to start with, all you women that be coming on here with these bad stories about men, that really reflects your perception on decision making. Why do you choose all these ain't shit dudes? You shouldn't have this many stories on how, oh no, all men and all black men ain't. That just shows me what type of men that you entertain and what type, because a woman has so many options. Let's just be real. A woman can have on a tank top, some leggings, don't cost no more than $20 for the whole outfit, and she can be fine enough to where somebody in a Lamborghini, a millionaire, pull over and ready to change her life, take her in. A man can have
Facts.
not a man don't have options like B-Eazy in the house. A
Salute
man
the
don't have
truth. Blood
options
in.
like
B-Eazy, what up, baby?
a man don't have options like that. As a man, you could have on a $10,000 outfit. You got a designer belt, $3,000, shoes, $2,000, shirt, this, and this. And a female with that $20 outfit would be like, how many
Salute, Issa.
followers you got on Instagram?
Issa, what up,
Hey,
boy?
you hear me? Hey, you can have on a $10,000 outfit, man. The female with the $20 outfit, she say, how many followers you got on Instagram? You know what I'm saying? Like she might can still get disqualified by her standards by not having a high social media presence. When like I say, as a female, they'll get the opportunity. So like, man, it's kind of hard to feel sorry for them and sympathize at all when y'all are basically victims of the choices that y'all be making out here when y'all be picking these men. So the ones that be angry online all the time talking about, oh, men ain't this and got all these bad stories, that kind of look bad on you, because it just shows how many times, you know what I mean, and how many different men on top of that, you know what I mean? It just like I say, sometimes it's best
It
just
is
to don't.
mostly your inability to choose better.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you so smart, you so
John,
sophisticated.
John,
Go ahead.
let me tag me in whenever you're ready. Tag me in whenever
I'm
you're ready,
telling
baby.
you right now. You gonna come
All
in.
right.
Go
And
ahead.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right, cool. Once I go B-Eazy, definitely chime in, baby. Chime in. But let me say this, right? Salute to everybody up in the chat. Truth, I see you. Issa, I see you. What's up, y'all? Listen, at the end of the day, men put women in categories. There's women that we see as friends, associates, women that we just want to just mess with, and they mean nothing to us, okay? And then there's women that we see as potential, and then there's women that we like, yo, I would marry that woman right now, okay? Not tomorrow, right now. We put them in categories. We don't, we don't look at them all the same. So I think when women think that, oh well, you slept with her, oh my gosh, like she don't mean nothing to me. You know what I mean? Especially if you see the actions that man follows up with, right? And you can tell when a man's really invested in a woman, because if he's really invested in a woman, he's going to be in the house. He's going to be spending time with her. He's going to be doing stuff with her. She's going to get exclusive things that other women just ain't going to get. Like, they're just not going to get that. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna be trying to do nothing. He ain't gonna be trying to clean nothing, cook nothing. He ain't doing nothing for them type of women. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you judge a man on. You gotta judge a man by his actions. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this too, right? I think what has to happen too with people who are in relationships, who are married, or they're in a long-term relationship, or they're in a I guess in a legal, relationship where they like legally binding because they've been with each other for over a certain amount of time, whatever, right? So what people got to do in relationships, they just got to keep it real. And I think the old school relationships, they kept it real with us, and they showed us a lot of what goes on. Look, this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? This is the good and the bad. This is the things that we go through. You know what I'm saying? As a family, it's what we go through. But they didn't broadcast it to the whole world, but they let their family know, like, look, this is what's real about it. You know what I mean? But now we have these fake facades. People thinking that marriage is just imaginary land with milk and honey, and nothing never goes wrong, and you never argue, and that is far, far from the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a human being, so like you go through stuff with your parents and your siblings, you go through stuff with your spouse. It's no different. It's just another person. The only difference is that now y'all just intimate on a different level. That's it. But all the drama you go through when you live with your parents and you live with your siblings and all that, I'm not saying you're gonna go through the same type of drama, but you're gonna go through something. Life has no, I keep telling people, life has no favoritism. Okay, life is gonna test you somehow, some way. It's just life, man. It's life. Something in life is gonna happen, even if you're living great and you don't really have any problems at all. You know what I mean? Eventually, you're not gonna live forever. So things are gonna happen when you're not here forever, and that may cause things to happen. Trauma to happen. Because you're not here anymore. But life just is gonna happen, man. There's nothing you can dodge it. You know what I'm saying? Salute the queen. That's right, Mr. Bryant. Marriage is work. You know what I mean? It's constant work. It is. You know what I mean? B-Eazy, what's going on, bro? You owe me a call too, B-Eazy. You owe me a call. Queen, what's going on? Go ahead, B-Eazy.
Okay, yeah. I didn't catch into the whole stream, so I'm not sure what y'all said or didn't say. But I will just say, just based on the topic, I have heard y'all say some good things, but I think that these, like, I'm glad that y'all did this topic, but I'm just saying, in overall, like, building outside of the internet, in my belief, conversations and topics surrounded around, religious figures and principles are kind of regressive and reductive. I talk to a lot of people, and some is atheists, right? And they would, when we're talking about division, they would seemingly be excluded from this conversation. Of course, people would chime in, but you know how people are. If you don't even believe, if you're not a believer, I don't even want to hear what you got to say. Oh, if you don't have kids, I don't even want to hear what you got to say. And some people are Muslim too, so we sometimes have these conversations based around religion, the main religion being Christianity, and it's just unintentionally, it's kind of regressive and reductive for the conversation. We have real life instances that we can point to, whether it's people, I know Mr. Best brought up his grandfather. That's a real life anecdote that you can point to. And many people have those in their life, whether it's a neighbor, a family member, that they've actually seen the relationship dynamics work and fail. When it comes to the Bible and religion, is based on someone's perception and interpretation. Not everyone has the same perception and same interpretation. You can read the same book and people view it from a different vantage point. But when you bring up certain relationship dynamics that actually happen, that you can verify and say, hey, here's a picture of my grandma and grandpa. Here's the house that they bought together. Here's the video. Here's the album book. Those are actually like tangible things that you don't have to really speculate or guess about, because you can see them right before you. So that's kind of my thing that I would say to that. And I think men, too many times they spend a lot of time arguing about what these chicks will and won't do. But it's like, kind of like John was saying towards towards the women, it's the same thing for the men. Like, bruh, you keep saying this chick is for the streets, but you keep smashing her. So you're adding to her being for the streets. If you done with her, just be done with her. If you just want to smash, then don't complain about something that you enjoy, right? Because people, a lot of dudes want chicks for the streets because it's easy access. Don't so stop complaining about something that you actually want. You want access to it, because if they don't give it up, then you complaining about, oh man, these chicks ain't putting out. So the chick there's categories, like Mr. Best was saying. I say friends, and I say fun and family. The chicks that you smashing for fun ain't gonna be the chicks that you trying to wife up and build a family with. So I think people need to make that delineation very clear and say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing, this is what it's about. But sometimes these dudes is supposed to have so much game and be so red pill, be knocking up thoughts, and then they be complaining about, oh, my baby mama did this, my baby mama did that. But bruh, she was that thought before you impregnated her. So is this really more about her being a thought, or is this really more about you making an irresponsible decision? You know what I mean? So, and I think that men, if we know it's a bunch of these unruly chicks out there, then I heard one of y'all mention fellowship. A lot of us need to be building fellowship outside of the internet. You know what I mean? Like, instead of coming together, hopping on panels and saying what the chicks ain't doing, bruh, if we come together and build our own stuff, it won't matter what they ain't doing, because they either gotta fall in line or they just ain't gonna get picked. You know what I mean? Like, once dude, what was that?
I said, you going crazy right now. I ain't trying to cut you off, but you going crazy right now. Talk that shit though. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, bro, because like we are the ones that's gonna set the standard. Once we build up as brothers, and and then they come around and they want to be dressed in a certain way, talking a certain way. Nah, we not going for that, because we are not only raising young men, we're raising young girls to be wives. We raising men to be able to take care of their wives. You know what I mean? So a certain buffoonery that we ain't gonna allow. Look, if you want to be twerking and do all this stuff on TikTok, that's around my
You cut out, bro.
we don't tolerate that stuff. So it's up for us as men to maintain that standard, uphold the standard, and basically make sure everyone, you know,
You gotta check your connection, B.
they simply don't matter. It's good for topics, and but in terms of building and progression, those people are irrelevant.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Queen, what's going on? What do you want to add to the topic?
Not much. I just wanted to say, I think, I think we just got to do better. I think what B-Eazy said is so true, and that's what I always say, is that you can't complain about something that you keep feeding. So you complaining about the raccoons coming to your backyard, but you keep laying out food for them. So they're going to keep coming, so you get mad, both men and women. You get mad when you got Theonas, you got mad when you got Pookies and Ray Rays, and, but these are the people that you keep feeding. These are the people that you keep choosing. These are the people that you keep seeking after, even if you say you're not. These are the people that you're attracting. So what can you do better to move differently, to stop attracting and giving these people the clout? That's all. I think it's to me, it's like little boys and girls that are just hurt. They just got their feelings hurt. Your first crush hurt your feelings, So, you keep choosing them. You want to smash and grab, and you want to lay down and have a rough neck, but then you get mad with the results of it. So it's your fault. I don't, I say move differently. You don't want to attract, hunt bees. So stop lotioning up with honey. Dress differently, walk differently, move differently, speak differently. But if that's not what you want, then shut the hell up and get what you get. That's it. So that's what I gotta say.
Yeah, that was real.
All right. You know what I'm saying? Salute to not your average guy. See you in the building. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, you know, as everybody's saying, you know, you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? You get what you you know, what kind of audience you put yourself around. You know what I mean? It's just life. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get mad if a woman, you know what I mean, is acting a certain way or not acting a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So like that's just it. You know what I mean? So I think that overall, yes, as a community, we got to hold each other accountable and responsible. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you also got to know your audience. So if somebody doesn't want to be held accountable, responsible, you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do. You know what I mean? So
Correct. And sometimes people focus on the controlling of other people, but they neglect the self-control, and that self-control is knowing when to walk away. This chick or this, you know, the dude may be dusty, right? Unemployed, homosexual. The chick may be a ratchet, thought in his prime. Where's your self-control to walk away from that? Where's your self-control to say, hey, I'm better than this. You know, I deserve better than this. I'm going to earn and work better than this, and just walk away. Some people get so fixated with a toxic situation that they believe that this is what they deserve.
Or they believe they can
my
change a person.
What did you say, Queen?
I said they believe that they can change a person.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And that's definitely...
it's going to be different. No, it's the same dude, just a different outfit. It's the same chick, just a different color pair of stretch pants, as Sin the Man said. That's it. Ain't nothing different. The same person, same song, different beat.
Yeah, and when it comes to that, the scenario you described is delusion on both people's part, right? The delusion of one to think that, hey, someone is just going to tolerate my toxic behavior forever. And on the flip side, someone thinking that, hey, this lazy, undisciplined, unruly person is going to suddenly just change if I, you know, bring them more flowers, or if I put it down a little harder in the bedroom, maybe she won't act like this. Illusion on both people's part that they're trying to convince themselves of, hey, if I just don't do nothing, or if I just be a little nicer, it's going to change, you know, not recognizing that is a more deeply rooted than just a simple, hey, you didn't make breakfast or take out the trash this morning.
But B-Eazy, you said that they go after somebody, they try to basically there's something you said that they feel like they're doing stuff and that they don't deserve, but or they're put in a situation that they don't deserve, but maybe they do deserve the situation. Maybe they do deserve this toxic energy. Okay, maybe they deserve it. All right, because the thing is, right, if you're being negative and you're acting negative, you having negative things around you, like you're gonna get a negative outcome. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times too, I think people, I could say this a man and woman thing both. We sometimes try to elevate a person more than what they are. Sometimes that person is just trash, man. You gotta let them go. They're not good for you. They don't even love themselves as much as you love them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Like what y'all think about that?
Yeah, I will let John chime in too, but I agree with what you're saying. Then there's also a level of, you know, this term is thrown out a little too loosely, so I'm a little apprehensive to use it, but narcissism and egotism. Some of that is in the equation of not all people, because some people will say, hey, this dude was they'll give you a litany issues as to why they shouldn't have chose this person. He was dusty. He didn't have a job. man, he had a felony, and they'll just go down the list, and then they'll finally say, but he gave me 3 kids and we was together 10 years. Hold on, what? You just said every reason to not be with them, and then you follow it up with how long you've been with him and how you couldn't let him go. That wasn't about him, you know. And some people, they try to do this kind of build debate thing where they fit, you know, like Queen was saying, they think, hey, I could change this person, you know. I like his D game, but I don't like his attitude. But if we, if we have intercourse enough, maybe he'll lose his attitude, right? So they're doing all of this wishful thinking, and a lot of them is an overvaluation of themselves, because they think, I have the power, I have the influence to either manipulate or persuade this person and basically mold him into the perfect little minion that I want him to be. So some chicks and dudes, while they be complaining about what this person will or won't do, a lot of them are trying to do like a kind of restoration project, or a DIY project where, they kind of turn something around. You get an old fixer upper car and now it's ready for the car show. That's what these chicks try to do. They find a dusty dude that has quality attributes that they like, which is usually physical features and, some type of sexual performance. And then they try to, brush around the edges, here, let me clean him up with his hair. Here, let me help him with his hygiene. Oh, he don't got a job. Okay, maybe he could wash the kids and drive my car. And
he went out for a second, but I know he'll be back.
It's eternal that think that they just have the abilities and that, either they coochie or they, their mouthpiece is so good that they just gonna change somebody. But what they say, a tiger don't change his stripes.
Salute to Colin Mitchell. I see you in the building. John, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, now I forgot what I had. I was whatever shit QueBee got on. Damn, I forgot what she said. I was agreeing with it though, but now I'm feeling everything everybody's saying though. Put out there, I agree with it. And damn, I'm mad. I hate it. I was about to say. I was hoping on to, but I guess it'll come back. So yeah, man. People just gotta be honest with themselves, and and just feel it's possible. Trying to, deflect and find, things to point the finger at, to try to anything to escape from accountability for just doing better. A lot of times it always on the wall, bro. People just they choose to overlook things for whatever reason, undermine things. And it always come back to bite them ass eventually. Just moving forward on men and women. Accountability, just owning up to shit. Like, you know what? It is what it is already. So why should I even be mad at what I already see what was put? Like, you ain't gonna be able to grow if you can't take accountability, make better decisions. Like, and what you say, the same thing over and over, that's insanity. So a lot of people is just doing the same and remain and acting the same, based off of the situations that they put themselves in, but rather, believe in a religion, God or the Most High or not, I feel like it's important that you find your purpose. No purpose, it's just wasting space. First, like, find your purpose, live out your purpose, and just let everything come together. A lot of times we put too much of a cape on just relationships in general. Everybody might not be meant to just be a husband or wife. You might not be put here to do that. With all the things and the problems that we have in this universe, I highly doubt that, you finding a wife or a husband is the key to solving all the problems of the world. Like, it's key as a collective, time is not on our side. To focus more on, things outside of, that are just so pleasurable, all the bullshit, just so that we can, or we gonna be obsolete. You know what I mean? As ticking, dollars crashing more. Got all these different types of toxins put out into the world. We got, I just think they're talking about the train railing and the water getting polluted. We gotta, like I say, a lot of the people that's entertaining the bullshit, and they can't just get on the right foot. I really don't see it, lasting for too much longer. Like, we talk to face, but everybody knows that it's our responsibility, to make sure that we make it for the next generation. Just how our culture is right now. Just if you just look through social media, just go off of that alone, it's a lot of deflection off of the things that matter. Relationships are major, right? Because of course, like life have relationships. A lot of people have different relationships, and relationships are key. But solely depicted if your life is bad based off of a relationship, that sounds like internal problems that a lot of people, they feel like they got this thing happy life, and all this other shit. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even if you go back to the story of Adam, Eve was put here. Adam already had purpose, which the Most High created him for. Yes, he did give him, to add to journey with, but that wasn't the sole purpose. It just wasn't for them to just put here and be happy. They were put here to actually, replenish or like you said, what's the word when you say to feel, like basically to create and feel the earth or whatever. He said, now be fruitful and forget what the word is, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Multiply.
You know what I'm saying? Multiplying, that's just actual human nature. Men have semen. Women can, incubate egg. I mean, not incubate, but they can hold the egg 9 months to give birth. You know what I mean? And that's nature, right? That's multiplying. We so caught up in nowadays, and you gotta be with the same woman, and they gotta do this, and they gotta do that. It don't say none of that though. It was simple instructions, but we as a people just with the, every time we go through another century, it's a whole bunch of more stuff that just added, like, and your relationship has to have this, and this is
Hey, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier when I was saying when you bring up not y'all specifically, but not everyone knows how to handle these conversations, and they start making a discussion very convoluted and conflated. Because some people will say, hey, so many, look at all the people with all these wives, etc. So people kind of try to pick and choose.
See, I said when M3 was on here first talking, he was talking to Polly at first when I tuned in, and I said 99. I said based off the title alone, 99% of women are not ready for this conversation. Like, cause I already knew, and then Polly was like, "Oh no!" Like she thought I was talking about her. I wasn't even talking about her. I'm just talking about 99% of women. I mean, and I'm like, if you put yourself in that category, you choose to do that. But it's like real talk, like you say, they end up talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, and like, bro, like, come on, like that just kind of just shows you where people mind be at. Like, it's so easy to trigger people. Like at the end of the day, this is the internet. I always say this. We don't really know each other. Like some of us know each other personally, but we still don't know everything that the other one do. So can't nobody really judge you. For you to let people based off statements really irk you and trigger you like that, it really kind of making think like it be like some truth to a lot of this stuff, like what people be saying, because it's like.
And John, let me jump into that too when you're finished.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna be quick too, but I like people saying stuff all the time on the internet. Like, bro, I don't be caring, bro. Like, I know I live in reality, bro. I don't live. This is I'm on the internet right now talking, but I know what life is like in real life, and I know who ain't gonna say what and how it would go, and it's never the same like how people think. Like, and I'm used to living reality. A lot of people are so used to the internet having a voice. A lot of y'all don't even talk outside of the internet in real life. Y'all won't even be this opinionated. How I'm talking on here, this is how I really talk. You see what I'm saying? Like, this ain't like I'm just getting on here expressing, now I got a chance to express how I really feel. No, if you know me, you know how I be talking, this is how I really feel. And a lot of people just perpetrating, bro. And it's like, y'all real life, it doesn't dictate how y'all really be popping it online. And it's like y'all get on here, y'all get disrespectful. You want to get loud. You want to, if you really, comfortable in your own skin and you really have it your way, like how you say, like, why would you get on here and be hyped up just getting how y'all get? I'm not gonna let nobody get me out of character, bro. I just laugh, like, because this is funny. Ain't nobody finna like, man, it just be crazy, bro. Men and women, bro. I'm not just going in on women. I'm not just going in on men. Cause I try to keep it all the way fair, bro. Because a lot of these men got so many female traits and just be acting like women nowadays anyway. So a lot of this be applying to y'all too. But it's like, come on, man, we gotta get it together. But go ahead, M3, what you were saying.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, people get easily triggered over a topic or discussion without really listening to the end conclusion. Because the thing is, certain topics, right, are going to come off in a certain type of way if you allow to get offended and get triggered by it. But once you hear the overall aspect, you'll understand. Which it's funny because I always make it clear to everybody. Okay, even for tonight's topic, I'm like, look, tonight's topic, this is not based off of truth. It's just based off of theory, stuff that I hear from other people, stuff that is being said. So all this is not just my own personal beliefs. This is something that we discuss, and I keep an open mind. You could be talking about something that that doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? You could say like the earth is flat or whatever the case is. I will literally go along with that because I want to understand, well, where do you get that information from? What is in your mind? Why do you think this way? And so the person who I had the conversation with that inspired me to do this, like this person obviously was feeling a lot of stuff or maybe had some type of experience because he blurred out like, women like they just pretty much mess up a guy's life when they don't really listen to his sound advice or whatever. And I had to kind of dig in to see like, okay, why do you feel that way? And when he was using like, biblical references, not to state that, the Bible is 100% truth or whatever, because you do want to at least tie into like, human history to even confirm that, okay, that's really true. That when you're in this such type of situation, or if you instruct your woman to do something and she definitely does something that's the opposite, what kind of consequences have you really endured? And then the other thing I was going to mention, right, because I wrote this in the chat too, from you guys' early conversation, I was like, the biggest problem is we have that I need to redeem myself type of mentality. So reason why I put the idea need to redeem myself is because let's just say for a man, right? A man's probably been hurt by someone. So you start choosing the same type of woman that hurts you because you're still trying to redeem your masculinity, or you're still trying to redeem that type
Or
of
your
scenario.
white knight. Some call it trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding. Okay, that's a good word to put it, So you're bonding with your trauma, but you're trying to pretty much fix it as if you're going back in time. The problem is no one can ever erase history. No one can ever whatever's just been done in your history, there's no undoing it. It is what it is, but instead of moving on, you're putting yourself in the same type of scenarios and then you're trying to fix it as if that's going to really help you to heal.
And actually, let me just add on to that real quick, M3, and I want you to pick it up from there. And they're also they're really not qualified, right? So when they're trauma bonding, a lot of them are trying to help someone else. Like I was saying earlier with the bill debate, right? I'm going to pick someone who may be unqualified, who may be a little bit broken and a little bit dusty, but due to the trauma bond, because, hey, I've been through pain too, and I know how it is to be hurt. I'm going to pick a hurt person and show them how much I care by trying to lift them up. But you're broken yourself. You haven't even healed what you need to heal, and you're trying to heal that through helping someone else. But most of the time people are not really qualified or in a basically a good enough position to do that because they haven't addressed their own internal demons and whatever issues they're dealing with, but they're trying to help fix what M3 or what Johnson different got going on. Lead yourself, fix yourself, heal yourself first before trying to project that on anyone else.
Mm-hmm. And that goes for the same thing for like, women too. For every woman that says that, oh, men ain't ish or whatever, or oh man, I found another guy, and then he cheated on me again for another woman, and I gave all my heart, and then the pause and the tears, but it's like, what are you crying for? What are you saying about, like, as if that every man you encounter, we're all the same, that we're all going to treat you like dirt. Meanwhile, maybe the same person that you're talking to is probably one of your guy best friends waiting or hoping, to be next in line. He's probably like the main person who's going to probably help you get over your emotional trauma, but then yet you don't really find or see him in that type of way. You see him as a little big brother. We'll just say you should see him as a brother and nothing else and nothing more. I mean, yeah, he could probably be a simp or whatever, but maybe he's the type of simp that will treat you like a princess or will treat you right if he had if you gave him the opportunity to be with you,
Hey, a lot of those simps have like husband and boyfriend qualities. It's just when it comes to, the bravado, swag type of area, they may be lacking. But is that all the relationship is reduced down to? Because when the chicks say, I want someone who listens, a simp will listen to you. I want someone who brings me flowers. A simp will do that. I want someone who puts me on a pedestal. A simp will, you know what I mean? Like, you keep going down the list, like simps check a lot of boxes. But then when it comes to, oh, well, he just doesn't turn me on, or I get bored. Like, hold on. The simp is paying all your bills. You going down the list and you're complaining about being bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? I'm not trying to define you feel like the white knights or anything, but some of these same type of dudes, like, don't underestimate them. Some of them will know how to fight. Some of them will actually fight for your honor, whether if you were right or wrong. You know what I mean? Someone will actually pull up a blankie, and delete them in your honor. You know what I mean? Simps can also be very.
That's a great point.
Thank you. Yeah. Simps
no, because let me just say one more point too. Because when you I tell people in the streets too, because they'll say so and so is a snitch. Yeah, that's true. But just because he's a snitch doesn't mean that he suddenly stopped being from the streets. Like, so I know plenty of people that snitch, but if you go up to them and say that they snitched, you might not be making it back on this panel. But this person is still a snitch. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so when somebody is saying, "Oh, look at this dude, he's a simp." Yeah, he is a simp with chicks, but that dude bench pressed 300 pounds and got a black belt in judo. So if you go try. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Go ahead and call him a simp to his face and push him, bro. It's not going to end well for you, bro.
Right. You will definitely be embarrassed like real quick, though. And he'll still go with his simpish ways and all that. But the overall point is that, like, they have those type of qualities that will override someone that you could find yourself like sexually or mentally or emotionally attracted to, but they don't have those many qualities that you're looking for. So then it just, it makes people question or confuses people. Well, you say one thing that you need, I'm learning to provide that for you. Even if I lack in that quality, I'm going to study, do some research, just so like those needs could be met. And yet I'm not good enough. And that's how most guys will feel, or feel discouraged about that. So,
but some guys are not good enough. If she's not attracted to him, I'm not gonna tell her to get with him, because then she's gonna wind up cheating on him. Like, you can't get with somebody you're not attracted to. I will tell women to consider, a guy that she's actually attracted to, right? And he has the quality that she's looking for. But if he's boring or you think that you feel like he's not attractive, then yeah, don't do it. Because you're going to wind up ruining that man, because you're always going to be chasing somebody that you really are connected with, even if the thing you're chasing is toxic. Some people look, they just are gonna always be in a toxic relationship. There's nothing you can do for them. You know what I mean? Like it's just a reality of the situation.
Mm-hmm. No, and definitely. The whole case of point is that like every man and every woman, okay, say one thing, but overall, like every choice is made by you. Okay, you can't just say I want a Brittany Renner, okay, and expect for her to be subservient to you. You know what I mean? You're not even married to her. You can't expect someone, right, who thinks that they're a god or who think that they're already above you to actually give you that type of respect. And I'm not telling people to settle, but I'm saying realistically, the reason why people have a hard time in finding these type of relationships is because unfortunately these relationships are not really meant for you, but yet you're trying to force yourself or you're trying to force these relationships to work.
And we need to have a better understanding and a more complete discussion about settling. Like when people say settling, it's considered like a toxic word, but people are settling all day in their life. I see people go to a interview, right? They say, "What's the desired pay that you want?" I want $30 an hour. Do you think they get $30 an hour, or do you think they settle for a lower pay? Many times they settle for a lower pay. And this happens in all aspects, of their life. But when it comes to relationship, no, I cannot settle. Even though I'm 300 pounds, right? Even though I'm unruly, even though, I don't have the best hygiene, even though I'm not earning enough money, I'm not settling. Like, what are you even talking about? What are you even qualified for? So people just keep talking about, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But they don't have a complete discussion about what they actually truly qualify for. You know what I mean? So I think people just throw that settling out there way too much, and it's another form of delusion, because delusion is a hell of a drug to think that. And let's just use the job reference, right? If you're demanding $30 an hour, they're going to look at your resume and see, okay, what are your skills? What's your acumen? Are you able to do this job before I even consider this? Oh man, you're not ready for this. Okay, that's why we have to negotiate the price and offer you a little bit lower. You know what I mean? Because you're not fully qualified to get this position. Now you can work up to $30 an hour, but right now you're probably around $26 an hour. You know what I mean? And for some people, they'll be like, I didn't even really think I was gonna get 30. So 26, that's pretty good. And others is like, nope, if it ain't 30, I'm not working. And then 10 years later, you still don't have a job that pays you $30 an hour. Meanwhile, the person that's accepted and settled the $26 an hour, they working on their second promotion. You know what I mean? So people understand settling, but when it comes to relationships, they just act like it's just something that they just can't fathom. I would never do that. And I'm not encouraging and saying people should settle. I'm saying that people should have more introspection and say, what do you truly qualify for? What position are you really ready to take on? And like John was saying earlier, not everybody is husband and wifey material. So you're demanding husband treatment and wifey treatment, but you don't even qualify. That's like me saying, hey, bro, treat me like the president. Do you have any qualifications or anything that would, put you in the same position? No, but you should just treat me like a president because I want you to. Sounds pretty goofy, bro.
I mean, I think that people, like you said, they should live in reality, right? It should be where they are considering the energy they're putting out there, right? Who they are as a person, and what things they're doing and what things do they bring to a relationship, right? Of course, they should definitely consider that. You know what I mean? So you're right in that. They should definitely see what they I would say what you say, like, qualify for, right? But I think also the thing is that the reason why I think people shouldn't settle in relationships is because with a job, you can always find another job, right? So in a job, yes, you can always make decisions of kind of maybe get another job or whatever. so there's more flexibility. You know what I mean? So you could set on a job. You could, especially if the job is giving you certain perks or benefits. You know what I mean? Yeah, you may take a lower pay based on those perks and benefits. Schedule might be right, healthcare, a lot of reasons, a litany of reasons, right? But as far as the relationship, the reason why I tell people not to really settle is because, you know, in a relationship, man, kids can come around. You know what I mean? Like your life and legacy is on the line. Like so. It's a different type of thing. With a job, you know what I mean? Yeah, I may take it, I may not. I'm still able to wake up and still be the same person. But if I still in a relationship and now we have kids, or now I'm emotionally damaged, or now there's trauma, or you know, whatever goes on, now these are things that are altering my life for a long period of time, maybe for the rest of my life, due to me being in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's why they tell you, you know what I mean? Be careful, you know, who you really, you know, hook up with, or be careful who you really link up with, because that energy transfers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you with somebody, that energy that they bring in you is going to transfer onto you, and vice versa. You know what I mean? You don't know how long the energy is going to be. And then if you have kids behind that, man, forget about it.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily disagree with that. My whole point was, and like I said, I'm not advocating for anyone to settle. I'm saying that people need to be more open with their decisions, and based on my observation and the testimony that people give me, the majority of people that I talk to, they actually do settle, right? A lot of people, if you just have a individual conversation and say, hey, did you and your baby mother, because a lot of people are not married, your baby mother or father, did you guys talk about this? Did y'all plan, did y'all plan this pregnancy? The majority of them I talked to was like, no, it was like an unplanned pregnancy. So I get what you're saying about the kids, but then people are having these unplanned pregnancies. So it's like, did they settle? You know what I mean? They didn't even have a plan to have the kid. It's not like their baby dad or baby mom was the girl of their dreams. They just settled, damn, we having a kid. Well, I don't have a kid out of wedlock. All right, well, let's just get married, In that situation, they kind of did settle. And I think some people would encourage them like, hey, well, the baby's here. This is probably not the dude that you wanted for your life, but you need to settle down and try to work this out. So I'm saying, like, it's a very, really nuanced discussion. I don't advocate for anyone to just blindly settle. I just think people need to be more mindful of what their purpose actually is, and who and what they actually qualify for. If you know that, hey, look, I'm above choosing Tatiana, then a Tatiana shouldn't be your baby mama, because once she does become your baby mama, then that's kind of the level that you're at in terms of, sexual market value. You know what I mean? So at that point, you may have to consider settling. You know what I mean? You have to look at the totality of the baggage you bringing. You may be bringing two baby mamas. One of them is cool. The other one is ratchet. You might have two ratchet baby mamas, or the chick may have a baby daddy that's in prison, or her parents might be racist. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of variables and caveats that makes the settling discussion. You know what I mean? It does usually have to be based on individual case by case basis.
Facts, big facts for real.
Yeah. Hold on. All right, guys. I do have to wrap this up, but this was definitely like a good discussion, and yeah, we definitely should have like a topic that's more specifically as far as like the case of like like selling and all that. But besides that, like everything, tonight was pretty cool. I think I think like it would be nice to kind of cover up like other topics besides like Christianity, if we ever do have like another religious like topic. I know most people, especially like in America, are not like Muslim based or whatever, but it would be cool to like try to dab in something like that, just in the future, that is. Mm-hmm. But other than that, thank you guys for like tuning in on this topic. So salute to like John. I know you've been spitting for like a minute. Salutes to Mr. Best, B-Eazy, and salutes to Queen as well too. Though I don't know if you're still here, Queen, but
yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. So yeah, thank everybody for tuning in. And real quick, Mr. Best, do you have like what time is your Black is Gold topic?
Man, whenever I get ready to do it, I don't really got no time. You know what I mean? I'm restructuring everything, and you know what I'm saying. I got like a lot of streams I'm doing tomorrow, but you know most of them streams I'm probably gonna do tomorrow. Today is my day of like rest and relaxation, so I'm just about to fold up some laundry, and you know, take it, you know, hit that hay, go to bed. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Man, I feel you, man. I gotta hurry up and get ready for work tomorrow, anyways. But yeah, man, I might I don't know this week, man. Like I might just kind of like like just fall back and probably just like moderate, and whoever else wants to like host for like Thursday, feel free to go ahead on and do that. B-Eazy, is you and Riggs having like the topic for tomorrow?
Yeah, I got to confirm the topic with Big Rig though.
Okay. Well, Big Rigs, man, if you're in the building, man, like let us know. So that way, man, like the sooner we get the topic, man, the sooner like we could promote it. But Big Rigs, man, he's always like,
hold on.
Funny.
Wait, actually, my bad, wrong one. Big Rigs is always like this.
Hold on. If it's up, then it's stuck, man.
Rig go DM me the other day talking about where B-Eazy at.
Anyway, so I'll see you guys, man. All right, you guys, man. It was definitely a fun night. So I'll see you guys next time, man. Peace out. As soon as I find the intro, I'm out.
Peace.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Knowledge and relationships.